inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always. Just one touch.
Sorry about that. I was just experimenting with the brand new intro.
Do it again.
So I'll do the intro one more time to make sure that it works. I apologize because I fucked that up. I admit. I'm going to play the intro one more time because I fucked it up. Here it is.
Do it.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
That's the new intro. Now, to make sure that it really is working, I think we should do the intro one more time, just to make sure.
Do it again. Do it again.
One more time. One more time.
Just one touch, and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
That's good. Do it again. Do it again.
One more time. Hey, we got somebody in the comments, Michael Angelo. Hey, Michael Angelo, did you like that intro? Do you want to see that intro just one more time?
Do it again.
It's a beautiful intro, guys. One more time.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always. Just
do it again. Do it again.
Welcome to Gypsy Road, guys. Let me see if anybody in the comments see if they like that intro.
That's fucking awesome.
Next Sunday and Kanye West, guys. Everybody said I needed an intro. And I say, why can't we make horror and a love song together? Why does horror has to be evil? Horror is about love.
Love.
So this is about love. So looks like we got some show on. Guys, I apologize. I know 1 minute I said 10 a.m. and then I said 11 a.m. Then I said 10:30. Well, what happened was we had a guest who's going to come on. So we made it an hour early just for the guest because he has to go to work. And then I got an email at the last minute. He can't go on. So, I wasn't 100%. I'm not saying prepared. I was thinking about changing the thumbnail or something to get the picture off because, there's a lot of stuff, So I don't have that third guest. So I apologize. But you know what? Sometimes we don't need a guest, We don't need a guest.
We don't need no stinking guest.
No. So, the show was originally called Heaven and Hell and religious in the Mandela effect community. But there's something that I think we need to talk about first, and I want to explain to you what I'm about to talk about. And I think you're probably going to have a lot of information about this subject to talk about. Look like we got some people watching on. So that's good. My good buddy, Preliminimal. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. Sometimes we do shows also on Thursday and Friday, correct? So we did a show. Actually, first of all, hold on. Before I get to that story, I just want to say on Brian Staveley's show, that was awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
Man, you had a I was like, you guys needed like 20 breaks because you could have kept going without breaks. You were just going and going. And
the dude's brilliant. He's like me. He's brilliant. The fucking guy knows his shit. It's rare to meet somebody who actually has. I'm not judging people. Judge not lest ye be judged. But the dude knew his shit. I mean, right off the bat, I learned. I mean, when I go to a site, I like to learn. I don't like people talk about fucking rappers and shit like that. I don't fucking know. He's got the hard hitting stuff, and he's got the basic stuff for the basic people that like basic stuff, and then he's got the hard hitting shit that I learned about. So the guy he made his way onto my very low. I got him under 5 people on my list that I trust that has the actual effect. He's right on there. He's like on the fucking list. So I was like, damn, man. Damn, he knows his shit. And then I verified it because he has all the data to verify it with. He's a scientist, so he has the information to verify. So I backed the information. Yeah, he's right. Oh God, man, Torpedo Alley, all the fucking everything's verified. I was like, holy fuck, he knows his shit.
You guys did something because after your show, my laptop here crashed.
Yes.
You guys, I'm not lying, it crashed. So I had to reset everything. I had to refix. I had stuff in iCloud. I had to reset the settings in YouTube and all that. So a lot of things were affected. Wrenches were affected. Everything was affected. So anybody wrenches, I apologize about the wrenches stuff, but I had to fix all that shit later. But there is one thing about the show that I don't know the name of this one guy. There was one guy in chat, real quick, before I go into this 9/11 talk. There was one guy in chat, kind of pissed me off just a little bit. Not the woman who left the show when you're talking about the body change, because I think that was too much for some people. But
I don't know that. They don't have that comprehension.
You were talking about something. I can't remember exactly, military or something. And I said, isn't it kind of weird how somehow you and I, both in the military, different times, and we both received injuries in the same area.
Same area.
Your hand got bigger. My nerve damage happened in my hand. So I had like nerve damage. So and then somebody in the chat goes, don't think you're getting sympathy from us.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And then I wrote, and I text back and I wrote, I'm not asking for any sympathy. Now, and then he wrote that he made a comment about showing I don't show respect to like any soldier. And I just want to say something real quick. I'm not gonna say the guy's name. I would never do that. I would never say somebody's name. But if you can hate the government all you want.
Yeah.
You know, you and I have more reason to hate the government than most of these fuckers. I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, we're veterans.
After I got injured with nerve damage, they threw me out. They said I can't do my job anymore because of the nerve damage in my hand. So they threw me out, right? But when you disrespect people signing in, that's disrespectful because young people. They're not born with a silver spoon. They don't have parents that can send them to college. They don't have a way out. So these people are putting their life on the line, not just for wars to protect us. They're putting the lines for the government that's sending them to wars that we shouldn't even be in. So these people are double sacrificing themselves. And when someone makes a comment like that, it kind of offends me. And I think
we go to college, man. We go to fucking college. A lot of these cocksuckers don't fucking know it, man. I mean, we didn't have a goddamn mom. We didn't have a rich dad. We were fucking living in the ghetto. We lived in Horns Manor. Fuck you guys if you don't believe me. That's where we fucking live. We lived in a Mexican work camp.
My college was paid for by the military. They paid for my college.
My college was paid for the military. I had to fucking go out and get my ass beat for fucking. I needed the fucking military to live, to be a human.
Yeah. So
in this place, all you cocksuckers don't fucking understand it. That you're a slave. That you're born a slave. You're fucking raised a slave. You'll die a slave. For some of us to become citizens, we need to join the military. Back in the days of Rome, if you wanted to be a citizen, you joined the military. So a lot of fucking cowards out there that were fucking just as strong as I was growing up as a kid, they didn't join the military. They went straight to college and got a silver spoon. Most of them were in Congress. None of them served in the military. No fucking president served in the military. No, none of your none of your motherfucking people that are of leadership roles served in the military. Some of them did. Not all of them. The majority have not. So some of us that had to join the military, we wanted to become citizens. So we had to join the military. Unfortunately, a lot of us that join the military don't come back. Some of us come back with injuries. Yeah. Some of us come back with PTSD. Some of us come back all fucked up. But it's a sacrifice we fucking make so cocksuckers can go out there and walk the streets and feel fucking safe. But they don't thank the fucking militaries. They don't thank the vets anymore. In my time, they thanked all the vets. And this time, there's nobody thanking vets, especially in the Mandela effect community. Thank you for your service. I've heard hardly none. I've heard nobody in the community fucking say thank you for your service. None. I hear a bunch of fucking cocksuckers screaming this change, that change. But how about someone like me? How about someone like Eric? How about someone who joined the fucking military? Texas Danny was in the service. They're calling him crazy. Oh, that's his Texas Danny. He's crazy. He was ex-fucking Army. I mean, it's fucking sad, man. I don't respect anybody that weren't in the service. Now, I'm learning having to get along with people that were not in the service since the majority of the community is not in the service. There are some, a very few amount, but, and even then, it's like, what flag did you have? Was it backwards on your arm or was it forward on your arm? My fucking flag was the other direction. What direction was your flag? Did you have a white stripe or a red stripe? How was your stars on the flag? I got to ask these questions. What oath did you take for the military? I fucking took an oath of 52 states, 13 colonies, and the red stripe was underneath. What oath did you take for your flag? Are you a local? Are you part of this Nazi fucking regime in this big-ass comic book or not? I don't know who's who. I don't trust nobody. But I do trust a handful of people now. Thank God.
I'm not trying to rant or anything, but the regular soldiers, I'm not talking about governors, senators, generals, all the people that are high up. I'm talking about the regular soldiers. They're doing it because they don't have a choice. A lot of them don't have a choice. So those people I give 100% respect. So I just wanted to rant that. But let me go back to the main subject here.
Thank you, GR44. That's the first time I've ever seen that ever in a sidebar.
I just don't like when people hate the government. When they hit governments, they think because you're in the service, you're part of the government. Yes, you are part of the government, but we're using it so we can get further in life.
I had no choice.
You would not have a bachelor degree. I wouldn't have a bachelor degree if it wasn't for the military.
No.
So we're not two idiots who dropped out of high school where everybody thinks we're hillbillies. We're two idiots, hillbillies. We're not. We're actually educated. But last Thursday, I wanted to have a fun show last Thursday. So it was about time travel, movies. We talked about Evil Speak. We talked about Quantum Leap, Time Bandits. And then we talked about Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Now, Back to the Future kind of erupted a little bit where a lot of people had great comments, which that is fantastic.
9/11 this, 9/11
one of the main comments came up was 9/11.
9/11 a lot.
Okay,
yeah.
Now part of 9/11 came up. Somebody spotted a third building, Marriott Hotel. Okay,
yeah,
you remember that? And we were asked, do you remember a Marriott Hotel? And I said, no, I don't remember. Now, and you said you didn't remember either, I believe.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why I didn't remember. I did the research.
Yeah,
there's a reason why people don't remember.
That's where
before everybody starts fucking screaming and yelling, it's a brand new Mandela effect. You got to hear the facts.
Yeah. So that's where I'm going to let you give your spiel on it. But let me just say, when somebody told me, now I don't study 9/11.
No, I don't either.
I made a comment when Brian was saying that he never saw people running on the building. I brought that up because I go, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I never realized that. And then I've always said that when you hear something new, be honest. I've never heard of it, but I've always said on this show, you should always research and do your own research to see if it's true, if it's not, other people's opinions before you even do a private show.
Before you make a fucking comment, do your research first. And I researched it, and he's correct.
What shocked me was all the way from that Thursday to today, there's actually a bunch of shows about this Marriott. And it's like, man, I don't remember anybody ever saying they did their research on it yet.
Yeah.
Because, I've done not 100% research. The research that I've done, the building's always been there. It's not new. So, I mean, I'm not saying for you if it's an individual Mandela effect for you, but for me, after I've done my research, I feel that it was always been there. But that's my opinion. And now I want to give to you what's your opinion on this? Somehow our show created this big Marriott thing that went bigger than I ever thought it would have been.
So, in the defense of Brian, and I'm doing it from a non-biased scientific point of view, anybody that knows me, if I've had friends in the past, I've lost more friends in the fucking Mandela effect community than I have friends. Because I do the research, and 9 times out of 10, people are full of shit. So I call it out. I'm sorry if you're my friend, you're full of shit. I did my research, and I went back, and oddly enough, Eric, this is where you're going to freak the fuck out. Here we go again. Dun, 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 dun. We don't like Robert Wood because
before you give that big, beautiful speech, you know what I think we should do right before it, real quick? That's the intro, and after the intro, you come up with your 9/11. So anybody who never saw my brand new intro, you're gonna watch the intro, and then you're gonna watch Robert Wood talk about the 9/11 Marriott. Here we go with the intro one more time.
Just one touch, and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always. Just
I love that.
I can't get enough of that intro.
If you guys ever get bored in the middle of the show, just say, hit that intro, and we'll play it, and we'll start stuff.
Get enough of it.
All right, talk about your 9/11.
It's hard to get back into this because that intro was fucking fantastic. It was advised to my brother to have an intro. It was fucking, I think it's great. So I'll let you guys know.
I love the intro.
So we got another cousin involved with this one, another Wood involved with this one. Here we go with the Wood again. The Wood are always involved. I don't say Woods. I say the Wood. A Wood involved. There's another Wood involved. So, good old cousin, where's she at? Oh, God. Judy. Oh, cousin Judy Wood. Cousin Judy Wood in 2012. Judy Wood in 2012. Now, I talked to people to see did you remember this 2012 presentations with Judy Wood? They said, yeah, I remember that. Do you remember everything she said, Judy Wood said? They said, yeah. Did you ever heard of the third fucking building in 9/11? They're like, I don't remember. I know she talked about how there was how the buildings turned to dust, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, but do you remember anything else that Judy Wood said? Because people don't fucking remember. There's a memory problem. And I'm so sick of people calling fucking Mandela effects for shit that ain't a Mandela effect. Judy Wood back in 2012 clearly talked about the fucking third-ass building. She talked about the Marriott Hotel. She had the pictures of it right there. She had everything in it. All the information is for you. But it's such a brief conversation in the whole fucking thing, but it was clearly there. And so I went back and I said, yeah, that's right. She did talk about it. Now, look at the pictures of the new building. Now, YouTube is deliberately, as Matt from Quantum of Conscience says, throwing you a dirt fucking filthy-ass breadcrumb that leads you down to an argument path, putting people against people, argument against argument, this against this, and I'm like, here we go again with the fucking breadcrumb that causes everyone to fight. The information was always there. The building was always there, but it was not talked about because every picture angle is always from above and beyond. From a certain, you always see the pictures. You see the buildings and the two. That's what all I ever saw. I saw the buildings from the side. That's all I ever saw from the media, given to me by the media. And I'm going to read something very important to you guys. I'm going to put my face on. I'm going to go blackface. So those of you that don't like blackface, I don't want to make you mad, but give me a second here. I want to read something to you guys. It's very important. There's an old saying by one of the greatest Caesars of all time. Marcus, and I always say the name wrong. Marcus Aurelius, which was back in 161 to 180, He's a Stoic philosopher, and I'm heavily into Stoic philosophy, guys. If you don't know me, I'm a heavy Stoic philosopher. And he said wonderful quotes. And you got to remember this. For all of you bashing Brian, who provided 100% evidence that it was there, but you're so fucking stupid that you don't do the research yourself, and you always believe anything is told to you at any fucking source, and you look like a fool. Now, this man is doing research, he's doing science, and he proves it. He actually puts evidence up to support the fact that he talked about this building. Now, I'm going to talk about this famous quote from Marcus Aurelius. Quote, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. You are the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Death smiles to us all, but all a man can do is smile back. So this came from a philosopher way back when. And it's kind of funny how it's relevant now during this Mandela effect, which I debunked. There is no Mandela effect. It's debunked. Just like fucking Dan Garcia said in the sidebar during fucking Brian's fucking show. Don't act like I didn't see that, Dan Garcia. Orale vato. Dan Garcia fucking hanging out with the güeros, man, with the güeras, making sure he gets some fucking thing, bitch. I'll tell you right now, dude. A lot of the things you guys see is incorrect. Back to Twin Towers. Judy Wood put it out in 2012. I made it really clear, and I remember that. Eyes to see, ears to hear. So remember things like that. 1 second. I got to grab. Oh, what's that? Yeah, 1 second. I'm grabbing this and pulling this around. So back to 9/11. There was a magazine that was brought up in defense of the memory of 9/11. There was a magazine brought up, a Time Life magazine brought up. Number one, the Time Life magazine that was shown, I don't remember the Time Life magazine. So the Time Life magazine used as evidence is in fact itself a Mandela effect for me. The magazine that showed up, I made a video about it. It showed Bush holding the American flag with his right hand, which looked like it looked like this. So he's standing on top of the rubble, holding the American flag, which is an incorrect American flag. So it is a Mandela effect fucking magazine for me. And it was holding the flag, which is a fucking Zihel. So a Zihel flag was used as evidence. A Nazi fucking influenced magazine. The magazine now that I remember from Sagittarius Arm was a Time Life magazine. It was the rubble and the single flag being flown. That flag was the American flag with the 52 states red stripe under the fucking blue box. That was the only Time Life magazine. The one Time Life magazine was not. Let me repeat this. The evidence used to say that Brian was wrong in the magazine was used that these fucking guys used to say that Brian was wrong was itself, in fact, a fucking Mandela effect for me. I've never saw that magazine before. The magazine I saw was a pile of rubble with the skeleton of a building behind it, and it was a one single flag with the stripe. Now, maybe I'm from a different timeline. I don't fucking know. I don't like using that thing because I'm from here. I'm from everywhere. So I don't believe in anything. So anyway, I'm stoic. So there was the flag. Then the flag was stolen. It was taken by a fireman, folded up, and stolen. It was smuggled out. And in my time, it was actually taken to, Eric, get this, it was smuggled to Washington. It was smuggled to Washington State. The flag was found in a fireman's fireman station in Washington State where they claimed that somebody had just given it to them. They didn't know it was there. The flag used in the actual Time magazine, the single flag with the single pole in the middle of the fucking rubble was used there. So I don't know the magazine that was used to debunk this with. It was debunked itself because that magazine was, in fact, for me, a Mandela effect. I've never saw a magazine with the Z-hailing flag holding of old whatever, fucking the Bush cartel. So I want to talk about that. So a lot of people need to understand what you're seeing is the media. And if you're talking about 9/11, you're supposed to. The idea of talking about 9/11 with anything new or anything old is, in fact, it's there for you to talk about. Now, let's talk about the source. We go back to the source. Where is the source? The source of the new Marriott hotel comes from who? Anybody in the cyborg know where the fucking source came from? It came from fucking Money Fags. Money Fags, to me, is himself a fucking charlatan liar. He is in my book as a huge government shill. I don't know who he works for. Probably some fucking masonry. Who knows? The man is a liar. I debunked him a long time ago because he, in fact, is as a thief of fucking Mandela effects. The guy actually, back in my time, back in 2016, when you were able to go onto YouTube and you could change the dates of your videos. You could change the names. You could change the dates of your videos. Because the reason why I know this, because people that know my fucking thing, they always say, Robert Wood, you always have the same title. I kept the same title. They say, Robert Wood, you have the same title. I do the same title for research, for reasons. I went back a year later to see if I could change my title names and fuck with people. This so that I have some shifting ability. I have shifted. So I went back and I found it where you could change the date and the names of your videos. You can backdate your video. You could change the date. And when there was a Scott Harrison. Scott Harrison did Tic Tacs or Kit Kats. Kit Kats with a dash. He was the first and only one to come out with Kit Kats. Standing there as a nerd with a striped shirt against the window with real basic fucking camera work, real basic as regular guy can go. Like my shit was regular guy can go. Talked about the Kit Kats and the dash disappeared. All of a sudden, much later, Homeboy come out and he was the first. He wasn't the first. He went back to the option to change the dates and the names. Not only do people, and I'm debunking a whole lot of motherfuckers, people can also go back and use this same thing to change their names. They can add an E. They can subtract an E. They can add an S. They can add a Y. They can add a K. They can move things around. They can add a whatever letter. They can come off as somebody who changed with the shifts. Bullshit. You had the option to change your shit. Now, that option as the shifts went progressively further was gone. That option was no longer there. In this game, or whatever you want to call this fucking place, that option was removed. Nobody could change their names anymore. So now we're all questioning ourselves, well, how are people doing it? It must be a Mandela effect now because people are able to change their names without that option. There is an option. There's programs that you can pay for so you can go onto YouTube. It attaches itself to YouTube where you could change your names in antiquity and in time all the way back from your first video. You could change dates of your videos. It's a paid option. You can do this now. You could read people's tags. You could change your own shit. I could change dates of my stuff. I could change my name and a letter of my name anytime I want, as long as I pay for it. This program is available. So people that are mysteriously showing up with whole new fucking names and a letter here, a letter there. I'm not saying people are doing it. I'm just saying it is now plausible and possible. So it, again, is debunked. So I'm debunking, I debunk. I'm the guy that debunks. So out of respect for Brian Stavely, who provided 100% the evidence that he did in fact talk about that third fucking tower, I'm on his side. And I'm non-biased. I'm being a judge and judge not letting me be judged. However, he is correct. They did talk about it. And I found the videos on my own, not talking to him. I have no communication with him. I'm doing it on my own. I went back and I found old Judy Wood. And yes, in fact, I remember the video and I remember her talking about it. And that's the last I've ever heard about it. It was never mentioned again in anything else because I don't pay attention. I don't do 9/11s. I do physiology. I do anthropology. I do archaeology. In his defense, he's proven himself to be 100% truthful. So those of you guys out there slamming shit, again, let's follow the fucking source. Moneybags, liar. Number 2, there's another cocksucker that I don't like. I'm sorry. It's his name is Life Matrix. Bullshit. Provided no fucking Mandela effects other than his personal shit. Another liar. Life Matrix, fuck off. He knows I debunked him a long time ago. Let's follow the source down the line where the source is coming from. So those of you guys who are screaming at the fucking Mandela effect, go back and do your research. It's not. Again, I'm not putting anybody down. That's why I'm wearing the devil horns. A lot of stuff that I talked about in the past keeps getting recirculated in the future. Keeps recirculating. People stole my shit too. Go ahead, Eric.
No. I was agreeing with you. I know Chiquita asked, so any video can be fabricated? Yes. I mean, even without the program, if you go to any video, if you go to more options, it even has a published date. You could leave it blank, but you could. I could go to this video next week and say published date for today. So you could even change the date even without buying a program.
Yes.
Yeah, you could change everything. And you said everything correctly. I've always said, don't always believe what you hear in the beginning until you do your own research.
Do your research.
I have.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I have never once on the show when a lot of things you've said, I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yeah,
I never said, hey, I believe you 100%. I said, you know what? And you email me. You email me stuff, and I always email back and say, I'm going to research that. Thank you for this information. I never, ever say, you're 100% correct. Do your own research. Make up your own decision. Make up your mind on what you think. A lot of people do get misperceptions. And there is also a misperception sometimes on your own show. Yeah, there is, because I go to your show sometimes, and it's not anybody's fault who's never been there before.
You've never been to my show.
They think sometimes your show is just a normal, like what we're doing here.
Yeah,
you bring entertainment in a different way, and sometimes it might sound like you're saying something wrong, but you're really not. It's a fun way, because you've always said that your show is more designed to help people get off drugs. It's kind of makes it trippy and stuff. So, like, when I went to your show, a girl, she goes, she never been to your show before. She was on Brian's show, and she goes, does he know somebody's not talking through the phone? And she didn't know. So I told her in the chat, oh no, just get a bucket of popcorn, kick back and watch, because he has fun. It's to help people. We don't want to have that token show that everybody else always does.
Yeah.
So somebody wants to jump on real quick. It's not the two that we said we're not gonna let on. He wants to say something to us. So I'm gonna send him Chiquita, I'm gonna send him the invite. He wants to say something to us, which that's fine.
Building 7, Building 7. I got your answer for Building 7, Nikita. Mike, I have your answer for Building 7, Mike. Good question, buddy. Good question.
So there you go, Chiquita. No, you asked me if you could jump on. I just sent you the link. Jump on and tell us what you wanna tell us.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, tell us what you want to. Hey, he has a new video. I love this outfit that he was wearing. It was. I don't know how to. It's like purple. It was like, man, I loved it. It's you got to check it out. It's really cool. So,
he's a martial artist.
I know he's still there.
I know he had his. I know he had his seafood, and I know he knows about discipline. So he knows what a seafood.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. But where he's at, part of his country, he has to pay for data.
Oh, I know. I know. I've been there.
So
they're internet cafes. He's in an internet cafe. I know what it is.
Exactly, because he can't just come on a show just like that. He has to pick and choose.
Internet cafes. People don't know it. You guys don't know it out there. Those of you guys sitting around the United States, those of you in European countries, those of you white people, those of you whatever nationality you are, whatever fucking beautiful place you're at, you have your internet service, you pay for your bill, whatever have you. Overseas and other places, I myself had experience that you have to go internet cafes. It's literally you got to go in and you pay and you sit down in a little ass booth and you got to use the computer, but you're paying to use the computer. Internet cafes are a pain in the ass, and you got to pay for it now out of your own pocket. So you could either go down and get something to eat, get some fresh fucking noodles or rice or whatever meat they got on sale. One of that day is you got it. They're selling meat at the market.
There he is. Now,
Internet Cafe, is he? There's the guy. There he is.
Can we hear you? Can you say something?
Yes.
Now,
Hello?
before you say something, I got to play the intro one more time for your big speech for us. So we just have to play this intro because a lot of people haven't seen it yet. So real quick.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
We played that intro for any new guest that jumps on, so it's just for fun. So go for it. What do you want to tell us?
Dancing.
Okay, well, while I was trying to get on, I missed Robert's explanation about building number 7. So I'd like to hear that first, and then I would like to ask some questions.
Sure.
If that's all right.
Building number 7. Okay, so my time building number 7 was on fire.
Yes.
So it was on fire. It was also inhabited by military. So oddly enough, it was military guys were stationed there.
Okay.
Much later. Let me stress it now. Let me put this out there. I'm not a 9/11 guy. That's Brian.
Okay.
I'm new to it. So, but I'm gonna tell you what I know from the basics. So from the basics,
right.
Building 7 was on fire only, and it had military guys in it. And then much later, the media come out where they had CIA and Secret Service in it. And I go, when did that happen? Now, it doesn't mean it's not true. It means that information just came out, and I could believe it. Because wherever you have military, you do have CIA, you do have Secret Service. They usually have it the same buildings, believe me. I know.
Right.
They do. So when that came out, that was logical. Some people were screaming, that's a Mandela effect. I said, no, that's released information. A lot of information is just being released. Breadcrumbs are just being put out for people like you and I to have an argument, or not argument, to have debates online. So right now we're doing exactly what they want. So that's what I know about Building 7. And then Building 7 eventually came down, which was really odd for me because it was not involved in anything of any weird-ass invisible airplanes or whatever like that. I don't know how, but according to conspiracy theorists, there was some sort of beam or whatever kind of thing that disintegrated the two buildings into dust. And so whatever that fragment of dust was, it actually got into that building somehow. It was supposed to. Maybe they opened all the windows. Maybe it was a setup. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But the building eventually came down. I got notes for Windows 7. Go ahead, man. I'm going to grab my notes.
Okay, well, I mean, 9/11, of course, is a big event for everybody. It's for me, it changed my life, and I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 41.
I'm 46.
So,
49. 13.
Yeah, so
49. I'm 13. Get it? That's a joke.
Yeah, I got you. So I was in university when 9/11 happened, and of course it was a big event, and I remember the buildings coming down, and it really opened me up to quote unquote conspiracies. And I just want to I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means, but I just can explain like what I remember about it. And of course, there's a lot of disinfo, so I could have been going down a rabbit hole that leads to nowhere. So no problem about that. We can agree. We can agree that a lot of people are confused and they've been misled about a lot of stuff, right? So we've all done our own research, as you say that you guys do your homework. You say, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have done your homework, right? As you were claiming.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Window or WTC, the Washington Trade Center number 7.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so what's in the basement
Of what?
of Building 7?
I don't know. A parking lot?
Small one, but what else is down there? Good answer. You're not wrong. Remember, you're never wrong, and I don't want to make anybody feel like they're stupid. You're not, because we're learning. That's why you come on the show. We're all learning. I tell you the best I can, and remember, mine's available to be debunked also. Always.
I just have intelligence. I tell you that much from the get-go, and I don't really know what was in the basement of building number 7. So if you have an answer, you can just tell me, because I cannot answer you.
Substation. There was a substation down there.
You mean a subway station? A subway station?
Not a subway. Oh, actually, that's funny you should say that.
Substation? Or
it's a substation.
Okay, what is it? Exactly. What do you mean?
A substation is like, oh fuck! I dropped my fucking Subway sandwich. Subway. It's a subway station. Substation.
To work at Subway.
Oh, there you go. This is good, by the way. This is the.
All right. Bon appetit.
It's a synchronicity, man. There's a substation. A substation. Your definition of a substation is just as good as mine. So I didn't go in there, physically walk in there and look around. I just know. Yep. I look at the schematic. It said there was a substation down there. A substation takes up space. Space. So a building was built on top of a fucking a hole in the ground. So,
did it ever hold gold before it dropped?
Well, the substation also. Well, if it's a hole,
that's why I came up.
We'll call it, fuck the substation. Let's just say there's a merry-go-round built down there. Okay, no matter what it is. There's a construction built down in that ground.
Right.
It's a hole. Let's not go into the fucking whatevers. There was already a functioning thing underground. It's hollow underground. So it's built on something with something already going on the ground. So there's a hole there. And then for some fucking weird-ass reason, they built on top of an already existing functioning building underground. A functioning hollow space. Now, a functioning thing is hollow space. So let's go right to the fucking task, the brass tacks. There's a hollow space. They built a building on top of a hollow fucking space.
Okay.
Why? I don't fucking know. Well, we know now. But they built this building on top of a hollow space. It's a substation. So it's already got a flag. It's already got several flags. You built on a hard substrate. When you got topography, you've got layers under the ground. You got stratigraphy. Stratigraphy, it will give and take or whatever if there's an earthquake, whatever have you. Whatever the ground is made of. Soot, sand, rocks, what have you. You run beams down deep, and if you know construction, deep into the ground to give it stability because you have a huge building going up. There's a lot of planning that goes on building a high-rise building that needs a solid ground. Now, they always compensate for a parking garage or what have you. So it's always dug into the ground so many feet, and then they run the girders down, or they run these poles, these supporters down into the ground. They do the same thing at the Museum of Flight for the fucking space station, the outside area. Pow! They go pow, pow, pow. Have you ever heard of fucking construction going? You go pow. You know what construction site? Pow. It's building these huge fucking round girders deep into the ground to give 100% solid support. Now, this building 7 had not have that kind of thing. It already had a pre-built substation already in the ground, built for this, whatever this entity was, this functioning entity underground already existed. So they built on top of it. So they built this high-rise up. Now, wait a minute. Now, they're not building a building from scratch on the substrate ground where you have the pillars going into the ground to support just the one building. Just the one building. This is a building built on top of another existing building. You understand that? So they didn't have the same type of construction magic that would happen to a building like the first building and then the second building. They didn't have the same kind of construction. It was building 7 with an already pre-existing substation underground that was already functioning. Then they built on top of it. So number one, it was not built to last very long with this kind of construction. The big bad wolf can come along and blow, and this thing's going to fall down. It wasn't built the same. So all I can say is from what I know. Now, I don't know about this weird-ass explosion nano dust that it powderized both buildings, but it was odd that this building right next to it and all the other ones caught fire, but this one in particular caught fire. Did they have the windows open? I don't know what they've done there. I'm not part of it. These are military, also CIA, Also, special operations groups. Oddly enough, right next to the fucking Twin Towers with the windows open during a fucking mass-ass explosion. When shit's coming down, you sure lock that shit down, but they didn't. So was it already planned? I can't tell you. We might have to ask Brian that question. That's his area. That I'm only defending the fact that he is correct when he said that third building was there, which was also owned by.
Well, I'm a little bit.
Go ahead.
I'm a little confused. That's why I'm asking you questions, because you said that people should do their research, do their homework, right? And so you're coming on, and you're on your channel. I'm not trying to put you guys down, but you said that you have to do your research and look at that. Now you're deferring to Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. So I should go ask him.
Ask him. I went back to see what he said was correct, and he was
Ryan
correct.
has videos about this. Ryan has videos on his channel showing the Marriott building always being there.
That's what I'm saying.
On it. So, like I'm saying,
Eric.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Of course it's always been there, because that's how Mandela effect works, right? Like, you have evidence, like, for example, Ford. Ford has always had that pigtail. And you go back 100 years, and it never changed. It always had the pigtail, right? So the evidence, quote unquote, that you talk about, of course it's there. Once the change has occurred, everything else seems to change as well. Look, I'm not arguing that for you, but no. Excuse me?
Oh, no, go ahead, man. I'm grabbing my food. Go ahead. You're good to go, man. Actually, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm not here to argue with you guys. You know I respect you guys, okay? Can we understand that? Can we have that agreement that
you always gotta have to get to the truth, you always gotta have an open conversation, and you gotta be honest on what you say. So what you're saying is what you feel, and I want that. I don't want a fake person. You're telling me how you feel, and I love it. Go for it.
Great. And I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the opportunity that you allow me to be on and talk to you guys. I just want to share my perspective about it. And that's all. Okay?
No. Everybody has a perspective. And that's the beautiful thing about the show. I want to hear everybody's perspective. Because if I didn't want somebody else's perspective, I will make up something where I'm not going to have you on the show. Tell us how you feel. That's what it's about. Finding your own truth. And at the end of the day, it's up to you on what you believe in. Just what I'm always trying to say is just don't believe it right off the bat. Research and then come up with your conclusion on what you believe in. That's all we're asking. And when Brian made a comment about the other shows or saying stuff, he was just saying the same thing. Before you make a whole show on one thing that's big, just look at several informations and then come up and say why you believe it is a Mandela effect or not. People aren't doing that. They're just coming out saying this is a change. But why? Where did you see it? You know, kind of like Brian does, System Failure, all these people do. They show residues. They show where they're getting where they believe this is a fact. And that's all we're trying to say.
Now, have you heard of Judy Wood?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you saw all her shows?
No, I have not seen all of her shows.
She clearly talked about it in all her shows. Have you seen a show in 2010?
Can you be more specific about what particular show that you're talking about?
She came out on she came out on a big tour. Now you got to figure out what I don't know what fucking building she is. So type in Judy Wood in 2010, Judy Wood in 2012. She mentioned it in all her stuff. Now she didn't talk about it a lot, but she did talk about it. She briefly kind of brushed over it in a lot of her stuff. So the information has been out there. I do remember her talking about it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that don't remember Judy, you go ahead.
She spoke about direct energy weapons.
Yes, correct. You did know about it. Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you're doing fantastic.
Okay. And
fantastic.
Steve Lee has repeatedly said on his channel that Judy Wood is not real. Like her information is not correct. That he has come out and said that multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about myself. So I mean, I'm only saying that they came out because number one.
You're
me was Money Fags. When that lady came out with that fucking thing, I immediately said, okay, this has got to be debunked. I'm gonna do my own research. Other than that, I didn't care about it. And I found out, yes, it had already been out there.
I would just call him Money Bags because that's his name, but whatever. Like what I'm saying here, there's a couple contradictions that I would like to address.
I don't mind though. My brother was transitioning, so we don't want to put that guy down. I agree with you.
Yeah, like we're not here to do that, right?
I think we're family.
I think we can agree. So here's the whole thing.
I want to be in the environment. Oh no, go ahead, dude.
May I don't know what you like. I don't know if you want to say something because I cannot. You're speaking at the same time, so
go for it.
Okay. So there's a couple things. Like one, you are referring to Brian, which is fine. Like he has done a ton of research. He's a great guy. I know he's doing a great job. Whatever. Okay. But then, on the other hand, you're referring to Judy Woods, right?
Yeah.
But Brian Stevely has said that Judy Woods' information is incorrect. He does not agree with her. Do you know this? Okay.
I don't know. It's not about Brian. It's not about Brian. This is about the fact that third fucking tower was always been there and in the media, but nobody talked about it. Everyone talked about two towers. Even I'd never, but that information was already there. People are saying it popped up in a shift. It did not pop in a shift. It was already there. I talked about Captain Crunch in 2009. I got the evidence. I could show it. I talked about Captain Crunch in 2009. I got the evidence. I'll grab my phone and Facebook. I'll put it up on here, and there's Captain. It's spelled Captain Crunch. So it doesn't mean that information was not talked about. It was talked about. That building did not just show up. It showed up all of a sudden. Everyone's talking about it because Moneybags put it out. The fact is, its information was already there, but nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about Captain. I talked about the cerebellum being huge back in 2016. All of a sudden, everyone's saying the cerebellum just got big. I've talked about it in 2016. Everyone talked about the limbic system. I talked about it in 2017. A lot of stuff that I talked about has been put out there as a new Mandela effect. I'm like, this has been out fucking forever. So people keep taking and jumping on the wagon saying it's a new Mandela effect. It's a new Mandela. No, it's not. It was a shift way back. And some of the things aren't even shifts. Some things have already been out there and always been, but no one's doing their research. Too many people are jumping on it's a change. No, it's not. It's been there. You just didn't do your research. And I'm not defending. This is not even about Brian. This is about the fact that when I saw that lady put out that fucking article, and I debunked this guy 1,000 times. He's a fraud. He put it out there, and I said, bullshit. I've seen this before. I made a video on Saturday making fun of it. People that know me, that know my codes, they're laughing their ass off when I made fun of it with somebody else who remembered it on the show. Remember, go, oh my God. The person was saying, always look at what it's telling you. And I'm telling the people the codes, look what it's telling you. This other person is saying the same thing. You guys need to look with the real pictures. Look with all of your eyes. Look with everything. Don't just give in to the charlatans, to the false prophets out there. You got to know some information is out there already, and they're just presenting it new as they're retooling a bow. So next thing you know, there's going to be another building there. Unless you've went up there with your own eyes and physically touched and seen the object. I can't even have the conversation. People talk about the Mona Lisa over and over again. I went to Paris. I went to the actual Mona Lisa. I walked up to the Mona Lisa and I said, this is a fraud. This is not the Mona Lisa. This is a fraud. And now you see online, everyone talking about the Mona Lisa's fucking face change. Mona Lisa the fraud is on a piece of wood. Piece of wood is warped. It's warped. As it warps, the face changes. The schmirk is not a changed schmirk. It's warped wood. So as I examined the Mona Lisa on a piece of warped wood, I could see how I debunked why the Mona Lisa's changed its smile. It's on a piece of warped wood. Also, the Nazis move things in and out. So a lot of these things that people keep saying they're not. Unless you have you ever went up to the Twin Towers? The only way I could defend Brian is because he's from that area. I'm not from it. He's physically went there, so he knows what he sees.
He's from Boston.
Yeah, but it's East Coast. He's never went up there. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if he's ever went up there or not. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. I'm assuming since he's East Coast. I'm from California. It's a huge state. I've been to LA. It's fucking miles away. I've been to the whatever thing. I've touched it. I've touched a lot of things with my. You got to physically see it, or it's not real. You got to know if you're going to debate something, you have to be there. Did you go to 9/11? Did you ever look at the base of the building? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. Did you do your research of other people who talked about being there at the building? That's why I tell people you can't judge unless you be judged, but you can't judge unless you've physically been there yourself. I won't argue the Mona Lisa because or unless I had been there and touched it. And look, I can't touch it. But looked at it and I go, oh, warped wood.
Let me jump in. Let me see what I'm hearing correctly. Basically, what I'm hearing, basically, Bob, what you're kind of saying is when people make a video of something that's supposed to be huge, like a biggest change, because right now, because the Marriott, there's been like 3 videos that I've seen, everybody's saying it's changing now, but each one of those shows saying this change just happened, but nobody's coming out with residue showing magazines or newspaper. What you're saying is, what I'm hearing, if you're going to come out something brand new, base a whole show off of this one item, please show where you're getting that information from. You're not saying you're wrong or right. You're just saying it's like me coming out saying my Star Wars cup just changed last week. What? How? Where's my residue? Where's my evidence?
Where's the evidence?
Do a little research before.
Do you have pictures of it? Is there anybody who came into your house with a camera who filmed that fucking cup in your hand? And if they did, it backs up what you're saying. And then look at the person who filmed it. Find out if that person is good or not. That person does CGI or does Photoshop. Make sure you follow. I debunk for a living. So go back and find out they've done Photoshop. And I think, and you and I, the reason we brought this topic up, because we heard some channel said, Eric and Bob, these 2 guys on this channel, the one who found it, we didn't find nothing. We weren't the one that brought it up. It was just, it just came magically from the show itself. Yeah, well, I always make fun of things. I take the piss out of it. And people are already automatically assuming, that we're backing that up 100%. No, nobody asked us for backing it up. Somebody asked me, have I heard of it? I said at that time, no. I got to do my research. I got to look at it. Yeah, I went back to look. I'll make that decision. I think that's what I'm hearing. And I appreciate Nachiketa coming up his point of view and stuff, because this is the only way to move forward if we dig into the dirt, or otherwise we're no good than any other fake show out there. We're only going to say we're not going to listen. So I'm honestly, I love what you're saying, Nachiketa. I think sometimes this stuff needs to be brought up. He's debating it. He's doubting it. He's supposed to debate. And then even after this debate, it's still up to the individual person on what they want to believe. Yeah, you got balls. That's awesome. The beginning of the show, I titled it, Heaven and Hell. Part of that conversation was originally going to be about, do you even believe in heaven and hell? But our third guest dropped out.
But whatever, you guys started to speak about 9/11, and we got into it. So I love it. Nice. It's unscripted. Okay, look, may I just weigh in my point of view? Okay,
yeah, absolutely. We want to hear it.
Building number 7 for me, came down in a demolition style, in my memory. Okay. So in my memory, there was WTC1, WTC2, and building number 7. The WTC1, WTC2, and building number 7, all came down at free fall speed in my memory. Yes. No, correct. Name is Mike Rushhour. So free fall speed means that there was no support for, so it had to be demolition, right? So it's been already discussed and argued that if there was any kind of resistance, there was no possibility that these buildings could come down at free fall speeds. Agreed. Building number 7 was on one of the major channels. I don't remember if it was on CNN or ABC, but it was on one of the major channels where the news reporter said that building number 7 had come down when in fact, in the video that they were showing, it was still standing up. Okay? And then only after it had come down, they decided, quote unquote, pull it. There is a guy, he's the owner of the WTC towers. His name is Silverstein or something like this. And he did an interview, said that we made a decision to, quote unquote, pull it, There was a small fire on few of the floors that's been attributed to, quote unquote, the engines of the plane had fallen into the building and caused the fire. Okay. And the reason, and I tell you, and the reason I remember there were only 3 buildings that had come down that day is because in the history of steel buildings, okay, that were on fire, only 3 had ever come down due to fire. And that all 3 came down on the same day and at the same location, which was at 9/11. So that was a little bit of an anomaly. Okay. So Marriott Hotel at the WTC tower at New York City, that was not, quote unquote, building number 7 for me. That was not a building number 7. Building number 7 was across the street from WTC tower. Now the Marriott Hotel is nested between WTC towers. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
Yes. So the Marriott Hotel is right in between building number 1, North Tower, building number 2, South Tower, and it's sitting right there. We have many eyewitnesses because I've seen everybody's channel. I've gone through their comments. I have written comments myself, and I'm telling you, the majority of the people, and I understand what you're saying. If you have not gone there yourself, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And to a certain degree, I don't disagree with that, okay? But there are people who have gone there, who do live in New York City, who have written on the comments and said they do not ever remember that building being there. The closest hotel for them was across the street from the WTC tower. This is what I'm talking about. Case number 2, if I may continue on speaking, is, yes, Mandela effect in an essence works in a variety of different ways from what I have noticed. People wake up to the Mandela effect at different times. You may have discovered something at 2015, 2016, way before somebody else, and then now they're coming out and say, hey, I've just realized it has happened. It happens all the time. Same with Cynthia Larson, who was on your show, which the program that I have actually listened to, and she had claimed that she was witnessing Mandela effect back in mid-90s, way before anybody else. Even we even named it Mandela effect, right? And then only after I had noticed the changes. Do you not remember the conversation? Because I do, from your show, from this particular show, when you guys have interviewed Cynthia Larson, okay? And then only years later, do people come to the realization that these changes have occurred. Another point to be made. Think about how Mandela effect has changed the past, right? So for example, have you ever heard of Black Tom?
I have never heard of it. I learned it from
Have you ever heard of
Brian.
Yeah, I've also learned it from Brian. In my history, I've never heard of
information is out there. The information is out there. I've researched it.
I don't disagree that the quote unquote information, whether the information was out there or not, it may have always been the case. Maybe the information was hidden, right? And
Correct.
then it becomes revealed later on. But Brian Stevely even states that Black Tom had never happened in his history, in his past. Just the same with the liberty changes, like Statue of Liberty being on Ellis Island, not on Liberty Island. That was a change for a lot of people. But for some people, it has always been on Ellis or Liberty Island. For example, Grand Central Terminal. It has always been Grand Central Terminal. It has never once ever been Grand Central Station. Do you remember Grand Central Station or Grand Central Terminal?
I'm with you on that one. Those are all correct.
Okay, so my point is, when the task changes, when the ME changes, it happens. You go back, and then the magazines will come out. We'll have videos. We'll have documentaries saying that it has always been so. Are you stupid? It has always been that way. And then other people are waking up to the fact and said, no, I don't remember Grand Central Terminal. I don't fucking remember Statue of Liberty on, Liberty Island. Okay, there are a lot. There are thousands. And, what makes it, quote unquote, a Mandela effect is that people are coming together, right? And they're coming together with their memories, and they're coming together with their residues, not just residues, but memories, eyewitness accounts. That is helping to perpetuate the Mandela effect. And we understand Mandela effect is a real thing, because for me, in the Bible, there was never wine bottles or unicorns or matrices or things like that. And a lot of people agree with that. But there are many, 90%, 95% Christians who say, no, word of God will never change. Those words have always been there. So what do you say to these people? Nothing can be said. Nothing can be done. This is what we're arguing about in 9/11 attack. You're saying you haven't done enough homework. Marriott Hotel was always there. Are you... you haven't done enough research. I'm telling you, there are hundreds of people and dozens of people who have gone to New York City, who have lived in New York City, and who have actually done a lot of 9/11 research themselves, including myself, who said they don't fucking remember Marriott Hotel. This is what I'm talking about, okay? And I'm not saying that your reality is any worse or better than mine. I'm just stating that this is what I remember from my reality, period.
See,
Hello?
that's no. I was want to make sure you're finished. See, what you just did there was you gave a lot of information on why you believe that's the Mandela effect. You did exactly what a show should do if you're coming out with something new. You did it perfectly, and that's what we're saying. That's all we want. Don't assume until you've done your research, you've done your work, you've done watching videos. If you've done a show like that, saying about what you just saw, I would agree with you even more than just coming out and saying, because some of the shows just came out and saying without saying not even 1% of what you're saying. Yeah. So you did exactly what we want to see other people do. That's beautiful, man.
No, you're doing good. You mentioned that 2000. Okay, you talked about the Hotel 7, right? But you mentioned. No. Listen. The tower. You said Tower 7. No, you mean Tower 3, not Tower 7.
Grand Central Station from all old movies I ever saw. That's
Tower 7. You said Tower 7. You said Tower 7. It was always Tower 7 for you. Yeah, but it was Tower 3 or Tower 7.
Okay, so in my memory, I remember building number 1, building number 2, and building number 7 at the WTC 9/11 that had come down. Building number 7 was across the street from the Twin Towers, and it was a 40-story tall building that was actually, I think Giuliani was the mayor at the time, okay? Mm-hmm. They had 7 floors that were on fire because, according to the official reports, because of debris from... and already, I tell you, already building number 1 and building number 2 had come down. Already they came down, okay? And then building 3 was on fire. 7, I'm sorry. Building number 7 was on fire. I'm not talking about the Marriott Hotel. I do not ever remember anybody talking about the Marriott Hotel. In this reality now, there are 40 people who have perished in the Marriott Hotel. Yeah. In this reality, if you go through, and Marriott Hotel was originally called the Vista Hotel. So a lot of people get a little bit confused. Vista Hotel, Marriott Hotel. Actually, that's the same thing. And another point to be made about the Marriott Hotel is that now the bombing in 1993 that had happened. You know, remember on the parking lot bombing?
Yes.
Remember the parking lot bombing? That used to happen. That happened in my memory in one of the World Trade Tower basements.
In a
with
van, a strange van that came in there, right? And it blew up.
Yes, exactly.
Correct.
Yes. But now, it happened in the Marriott Hotel basement.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it blew up. It was connected. It blew up. It blew up some of the Marriott Hotel, and they had to do damage. They had to do re-repair the building 3. Correct.
So look, here's my point about that bombing, about that 93 bombing. Correct. In the news, they said that the bombing happened in the WTC basement. Okay. But now different reports are saying that it has happened in a Marriott Hotel basement. Okay. They are connected. They're right next to each other. We understand that. But news was very specific about the North Tower, and some people remember the South Tower. Okay. Whatever. But nobody that I remember ever mentioned the Marriott Hotel basement. That's my point. Okay.
Okay. And building number 4.
I don't remember building number 4. Okay. What is building number 4?
How many total buildings crashed on that day?
For me, 3. 1, 2, and 7. Those are the only 3 buildings in my memory had come down. Because, okay, go ahead.
No, you're right. I'm letting you shine, dude. You're doing fantastic. Go ahead. I'm not saying no. You're doing right. You're 100% correct. Everything you said right now, I remember. That's why I'm shutting my mouth. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you. And look, I think we are a very small community already. This Mandela Effect community is a very small community, and we represent very small fraction of the total population. And one of the things that is starting to happen is that this is the reason why I have difficulty talking about Mandela Effect. It's because it's a very subjective. It's becoming a very subjective thing. Objectively, for example, you guys are Star Wars experts. Okay, in my opinion, you guys are Star Wars experts. You guys know a lot about Star Wars than I do. Okay, I know a few Star Wars. Okay,
that's me, not him.
Yeah, you are. He's Eric. One
of the things we can all 3 agree on is that I remember Luke, I am your father. Do you remember Luke, I am your father, or no, I'm your father?
Yes.
No, that was changed.
I remember Luke, I'm your father. How many total buildings fell in this? Okay, not to back up, but you were correct, by the way. I'm not going to say you're not correct. How many in this timeline fell now? That's the big question. Now, remember, this is about us doing something new. How many total towers fell in this timeline now?
9 or 10?
Nope.
How many?
What's the recurring number?
13.
Correct.
Okay.
There's now 13 towers that fell.
Wow.
That 13 is the theme of this video game we keep playing. That's the relevant part. Yeah. Regardless of people remembering it beforehand and afterhand. Now, you've done fantastic, dude. Everything you said is correct. You did a damn good job. And people out there that remember the way you do is the same way I remember, and you helped a lot of people out, like, not feel crazy. Fantastic. The only reason why I'm saying the number is significant now. That's what came out. That's why you're supposed to know the number. You're supposed to read the math in between it. Now it makes 13. Now, in defense of people that remember things, now I gotta throw this out there. Like you talked about what's her name, the New Ager. She remembers things from 2000. She remembers things way back. She's a New Ager. She does a fantastic job. I really enjoy her having a show. A lot of people are like her, and I've talked to a lot of these people. They don't have 100% the memories that we have, but they do have certain memories of certain things. They all seem to bond together after Mandela died. Now, I have a theory that he never died to begin with. It was all a CIA setup, fake, because there was I went researching, I'm overseas. There was no information about him dying in Africa, only in the European countries, which was odd by itself. And then all of a sudden, in the European countries, he comes out of jail. But when he came out of jail, that was all over Africa. But there was no information about him dying but only when he was released in Africa, which is giving me a big red flag. So that right there was a big setup. So people like Larson and other ones can say, hey, guess what? We have a thing together. We all witnessed something that's miraculous, that he died and they came back. Well, not necessarily, news-wise. Don't believe what you see on the news. Also, they wanted Verona Broom. She's a witch. Broom. Anthony Weiner, the guy who did everybody with the obvious names, did all these obvious things. It's CIA bullshit. It's what it is. I'm just saying hypothetically. So Broom and the whole Mandela effect thing to begin with was what the intelligence department is getting in front of the snowball before the avalanche happened. So they're trying to take control of it. And certain people that I've known in the community that I know from certain areas that I've worked in are also pretending to have the effect and being in front of it and trying to be the ones in charge of it so they can control the rest of the community, they call it. They want to get in front of the community. I come in here to Liberty to debunk. Now, everything you said is correct. Everything you said is correct, all the way up the whole damn thing. But I also want to put this out there. There are people that are prophetic. They could see. They are prophets. They could see things in advance before other people could see it. Now, I was on my 2009. I can show everybody all the evidence they want to see. I've talked about all of these things in 2009. In 2009, I talked about it. It didn't happen yet, but somehow I talked about it in 2009. So when Brian goes back, and I've told people, go back and look at your old journals. Go back and look at your old social media. You might have talked about this already. You might have slipped it out. And then you go back and you go, oh, my God, I talked about this. So when Brian went back and saw and showed in social media that he'd already talked about the freaking middle one, he's like, holy shit, I already knew about this. Some of us are prophets. We've already knew it beforehand. So in 2009, you can see I said Captain Crunch and spelled out the word Captain Crunch. I've talked about a lot of things that had already come to pass in this timeline that had not changed yet. So some of us don't know why. We've already talked about this. So when the guy says and I saw the social media thing he presented, I said, oh, he did like I did. He actually wrote about the thing before it showed up. He wrote about it before it happened. So he already knew about it. He already saw it. It's not that he just saw it, woke up now. He already was given the sight to see it. So now he looks like a fool when he's trying, and everyone goes, I don't have a memory, and you don't. You don't have the memory of it. You're not crazy. You don't remember it. You don't remember it. You don't. He did. He had the foresight to see it way back then. I saw things before they happened too. Did not know that until it happened. Until something changed. I didn't know it changed because I already knew it. I was like, I already knew that. But everyone else says it's new for me. But it's not new for me. I already knew this way back then. I already saw it. I saw it before you. I didn't see it. I'm not better. I'm not better. I just something gave me the vision before it changed. I already knew about it. So when I come out and say I already knew that, they're going to say, oh, what an asshole. He's vain. He knows it all. No, I don't know. I just knew about it before it happened. Everybody's given an insight. You got a job to do. He might have already foreseen it. So when he says that he saw it already and wrote about it, it's the same thing as me writing about things in 2009 on Facebook. I already knew about it.
Who is he speaking about? Who is he?
I'm talking about when Brian wrote about it in social media. Now he has the evidence. He wrote about that building. He wrote about the building. He wrote about it and showed the evidence that he wrote about it. I can grab the phone, go to 2009 Facebook, and show things that have already transpired here that I talked about back in 2009. Okay. You know what I mean? I talked about the limbic system changing in 2016. I talked about the cerebellums changing in 2016 before they happened. I saw it before it happened. So all of a sudden, now all these brain changes are happening. I'm like, I already knew about that. It's like all of a sudden it's happening for everybody else. It's new for everyone else. I go, that's old for me. I saw that already.
And for me, I'm sorry, but like I'm not sure what that has to do with the original question about like 9/11 that you were talking. I'm not denying that you saw
the building. He saw the building already. He already knew it was there. He knew it was there. He also knew that I remember Judy Wood. Judy Wood, okay, hold on. I wrote it down. Judy Wood, okay, came out with this information in 2010 about the Marriott Hotel in 2010. Now, I don't know why you guys didn't see it, but I saw it in 2010. Okay, not in 2001, but in 2010, she came out with the information. I saw it. So I don't know why nobody else saw it. Now maybe you weren't supposed to see it. So I saw it in 2010 with Judy Wood because she's got her last name, Robert Wood, Eric Wood. So she's a related person to us. So I knew it in 2010. He saw it too. So it's a lot of people. It's new for you guys, but not for us. So I don't know why. Only maybe half of the group saw it, and the other half didn't. So it's not a big miraculous thing for anybody. It's something that we talked about because now it's 13 total that crashed. 13 finally came up. Now it's significant. So the fact that it's not the fact that the Marriott's not important. It's the number that's important. It's the number we should all be talking about. Why 13?
Okay, tell me.
What's significant to you about 13?
It's Friday the 13th is a significant number. That's when all the the Templars were round up and burned, right?
Who told you that? Do you know that's true?
No, I don't know. This is what I don't know what is true. I can only tell you that what I remember. I mean, like what's the like?
I know. It's a brain twister, dude. You're doing fantastic. That's why I like you. That's why I put him on. I like put Mike on anytime because you think, man, you're not a fool, and you're not gonna be put down as a fool. So you keep thinking, you keep talking. That's why I like you. Plus, you're a martial artist, and you had a seafood like we did, so you know how to. You're not a fool. You had a seafood. You know what I'm talking about.
No, it's to me. It's I'm sorry. It's like I just want to know what 13 means to you. Like what you can tell me about 13.
I can't tell you that.
You cannot. Okay.
I can't tell you that. I do shows on like Saturdays and stuff like that. I do my own little independent ones where I go into the deeper things, and I have a person that comes on that also has the same kind of a magical thing. It does the deeper things, and you already know that because I already hooked you guys up. I don't know what you guys talking about. I don't care, but hopefully she's helping you out too. But there's a lot of people. Good.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, and Katie.
Absolutely, because I wouldn't have done it for anybody else. I'm gonna put it this way: I would not have done that for anyone else. I knew that you're like this. I'm like, People have been sending me emails, dude, back to back. Who's that lady? Can you send me that? Nah, man, no. And then you sent it. I'm like, I said I gave it to you, and then this person said you did not receive it. Then this person says, guess what? They did receive it. It was like somehow not there, and then it appeared there. I don't know. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it appeared. Like this person somehow it was okay, and so you've been that person too. Which is between you guys. I don't know what you guys talk about, but however, I trusted you enough to give you this source, and so you guys could have a fun chat.
Hey, one guy in the text just said, "I respect people that say they don't know. It's refreshing."
Absolutely.
And the reason I bring that up because, that's why you have conversation. If you agree with it or not, and if you don't know, you don't know. I've always said, like the Bible, I'm not religious. I don't know changes in the Bible, and I try to be honest, and I don't try to make comments about Bibles. And in the beginning of this show, I said I am not the expert on 9/11, so I'm always uncomfortable talking about 9/11 until I know facts. Yeah. So, and I've always mentioned that to people that, certain things I don't want to talk about because I haven't got all my facts yet.
Yeah.
And it's so refreshing to have a point of view on the Nachiketa on here, Mike, and your opinion. It's fantastic. And, hey, Mike, you're going somewhere in 10 days, aren't you? You're going on a journey.
Yes.
What's may I ask? I mean, I'm not trying to get out the subject, but may I ask, what is this journey related to discovering yourself and Mandela effect stuff, or is it just, is it kind of just a vacation for you?
No, thank you for asking. I live in India, as you know. I live in the Himalayas in northern India, and I have a 10-year visa to live in India. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's only good 6 months at a time. So every 6 months, I have to leave the country.
Bob does too. We know that.
Journey, man. I'm on that. That's why I like you. We're both on foot. We're not. That's why I bring you on, dude. You could talk your shit and stop me anytime, and I'll shut up because you're on foot. You're not just sitting in a basement, man.
No.
I wish more people like you have shows, because if you had your own show, I know you're going to back up on why you think this way.
Hey guys, I really appreciate that, and you guys are very generous for letting me on and speak my mind. And like, I'm just a dude. I'm a caveman living up in my hut in the Himalayas, and I'm interested in the truth just like everybody else, right? I spend time what I can to listen to everybody and get their perspective about stuff, and I want to be as genuine and authentic as possible. But I like to hear everybody out. We all have different backgrounds. You guys all come from different backgrounds. So do I. Grew up in Wisconsin. You guys know that, but I've been out of the States for a long time as well. We connected somehow. It's wonderful that we have, and it's great that we're able to discuss things in this way. And hey, look, it's good. We're never going to 100% agree about everything. And I think that's fine. It's just the way we go about doing it. To me, it's always the process. Nobody has a monopoly on the truth. It's always the journey, and then we're always readjusting. We're not thinking the same thing as we were, 1 year ago or 5 years ago. Our perspective of reality is changing quite often, Yeah. I mean, daily. I was just watching a video by this guy named Chris Anantra. He's called a quantum businessman, and he did a video about how off the coast of New York City, New York Harbor, a U-boat in 1942 had sunk a tanker that was coming from England. It's and somebody else did a video of a 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden gathering for a Nazi rally in New York City, Madison Square Garden. For me, this is news. There's a lot of So when some people theorize, because I'm not sure if anybody has a holistic view of what ME exactly is. We know that ME is like a supernatural thing. For example, you have a Bible, the physical thing. It's in your drawer. You know the Bible by heart, parts of it, right? And then you look, and then boom, the letters and the words have changed. It's a supernatural change. It was not there before, but it is there now.
It's a code.
I'm not talking about Marriott Hotel, but it could be like for
anything. Yes.
Well, now that the Marriott Hotel is 13 now. And don't forget about the hotel. It's 13. It's the 13th one that fell. And there was no 13 that fell in U-Boat. Well, let's not rehash that. You both and I, we agree with exactly what fell at that day. But it's the 13th one now. The 13th, it's a repeated number and everything. That's your new goal. Now you got to stop and say, okay, outside of this change, why is it 13? And what's up with the 13? And why are these certain things changing? And why are these words changing to this and this and this? And go into the coding of it. Go into the deeper dive. Forget the word.
That's why I'm communicating with a friend, or with your friend now, about to because I'm a student.
You're doing good. Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah,
I don't claim myself to be an expert on anything at all or whatever. And look, I don't know if somebody else wants to be on. I don't want to be holding you guys up at all. And I would love to discuss more about other topics as well. I mean, we can move on from 9/11. I just think we have different perspective about what happened, and people do need to do their homework, and they do need to back up their claims. I 100%.
That's it.
I 100% agree with that. You can't just make a claim and say this is the way it is, because then what happens is that everything becomes a subjective thing.
Yes.
Like you have your reality, I have my reality, Eric's got his reality, and then everybody comes in, okay, I remember this. Like, hey, okay, fine, that's good. Like nobody's denying the fact that you had your experiences, but do you have anything else? I have a friend, or I have somebody else, and you have strangers who are coming together, and you have kind of like a Venn diagram where the circles overlap each other, and then there are points that's going to overlap where everybody can agree on that. And I think those are the things that we focus on, right?
Hey, this is what's great. Let me read this. Text from a chat. This guy wrote at Nachiketa, basically Mike. Glad you jumped on. I respect and agree with many of your views. That's why we want people on, because everybody has different views, and it's up to you on what views you choose. It's what you said is exactly true.
And you didn't get too frustrated with me, dude. Everyone gets frustrated with me. I don't do anything. You get you're like, okay, this fucking guy, man. Let me just say what I gotta say. I'm like, I'm sorry, I meander around, but you're doing good. The person you talk about, I put in. The person already knows how I'm like this, and they love what I have to say. They enjoy what that person has to say. We know each other's quirks, and then this person's gonna have quirks that when you talk to this person, you're gonna have the same difficulties that I'm gonna have the same difficulty with the conversation. But you're gonna be like, okay, now I know why he does what he does. And
hey, I've said from the beginning that the reason I started this channel because I'm a learner.
Right.
I'm learning everything for the first time, like there's a subject that I never talked about on this channel yet because I don't know what I believe yet. There's a section of people who believe in the flat earth versus around earth, and right now, I'm always been in the fact of I think the world is round. Okay. Cause I look at the sun and I look at the moon and it's round, but thing is I'm listening to people talk about why it's flat, and he's giving me additional information on maybe there's something here, maybe there's not. But when this person talks about this, it's like, hey, I'm gonna research this. I'm gonna check this out. It's just like when Brian talked about you never saw video clips of people running out of the 9/11 buildings. And I'm like, wow, he's kind of right. So that's what I love about hearing different things, because for me, I'm learning a lot of this stuff for the first time too.
Right.
I am no expert. Like I said, I'm no expert in the Bible. I'm not an expert on 9/11. And I love hearing everybody's view. For me, it's the first time. And then I take that information, then I could go do my own research.
Right. What he said exactly what I remembered. Mike said exactly what I remembered. And he also saw it from the same perspective that I remember from I saw it in a bar, I was working in a bar, and I saw it from the angle of coming up and down. So that the camera was always up at the planes coming in. It was never on the ground. It was always up. So that's why I could never definitively say what was below it. I don't know. I'm not from New York. It wasn't until later I did research and I found out from Judy Wood, all the other conspiracy people talk about, which I don't agree with 100%. Now, at the time I didn't, because I'm like, what's this nano fucking weird ass ray? Death ray. Anyway, that's all story. You know what I'm talking about. But but what I do notice now, and this is in my area of expertise, is the airplanes. I call them the tits in the towers. You see the tits go in the towers, and I make that joke. You know what I'm talking about. Them airplanes, they weren't the same airplanes. Those are some CGI weird shit. They got the engine sticking out all the way out like tits. I call them tits in the towers. Like, look at the tits in the towers. The plane's a different color. Tits in the towers.
Yeah, a plain truth for you is a channel, and he has talked about how these airplanes, they don't actually use jet fuel, quote unquote, at all.
Well, he works at the museum. He knows about fuel and planes.
I work in the plane. Been telling people that.
And Eric, if I may address, I've woken up to flat Earth about 5 years ago when I first moved to Nepal. I've already read about 3 books about it, 4 actually. And some of these books are like 100 years old. And I can tell you, in my experience, that the Earth seems to be flat. Like after I've woken up to it. So this is just my point of view.
Do me a favor, like maybe not in this chat, but in the regular, a video page. Can you give me those books that you read? Because I'm not saying I never cared if the Earth was flat, but in the past it wasn't intriguing to me, and now it's intriguing. So give me those book names. I like to check those out.
Yeah, I'll write them in the comments here on this channel after we finish, and then it's not a problem. And I love to share. And I just tell you, there are a couple things to how would I say, look for, like when you've all been on airplanes before, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when you are on an airplane and it's flying at a level, okay, whatever that level you think it is, if you look out the window, your horizon is like in a ball Earth should be below you. You should be looking down on that horizon. But if you are looking straight ahead, like as the plane is going level and you're looking straight out the window and you look at the horizon and it's at the same level as you, that means the Earth is, quote unquote, it's a clue. It's one of the evidence that the Earth could be. So water always seeks its level. The idea that the space is a vacuum is a little bit how would I say hokey is because
good word.
Because in an atmosphere has density. So at any time a vacuum, quote unquote, it sucks whatever atmosphere or whatever to the vacuum, right? So
Correct.
Another interesting thing, and this is a Mandela effect. Like, you know, a lot of people think that we never went to the moon, right? You've heard of this theory before, right?
Yep.
NASA faked moon landing. You've heard of this theory before, right? Okay.
Yes. Now, been rumored.
Before, the moon was not within the Earth's atmosphere.
Correct.
Now the Earth is in the in Earth's atmosphere. You can look it up. You can Google it. Now, if so, the mathematics behind the heliocentric model, Earth is 93 million miles away from the sun in radius. So, like, total distance is over 180 million miles in terms of the diameter. If you think about, like, if you're in summer to spring, right? Completely 180 on the other side, you've traversed more than 180 million miles an hour. Now, if you look up in the sky and you have 4 essential motions that you have to consider. 1, Earth is spinning. Earth is spinning. Yes, that's one motion. You're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, right?
That's what you hear in school. Yep, that's what you hear in school.
Yeah, so that's a centrifugal force. And then the Earth in itself is rotating around the sun, right? That's motion number 2 at 66,000 miles an hour. Okay?
Correct.
Okay. And the sun itself is rotating around the galaxy.
Correct.
So, and the galaxies themselves, according to the Big Bang theory, are also moving.
Expanding, correct.
Yeah, so the galaxies is like a unit, okay? They're a cluster of stars and planets and all this, a big area, right? And then there are many galaxies, so they say, and then they're all moving away from each other. And quote unquote, we know about the Big Bang because of the redshift. Like, I'm not a big expert on it, but basically that's been kind of debunked. There's a test that's been done by Michelson and Morley that pretty much says that the Earth is stationary. It's not moving at all. They were trying to look for ether. Einstein was a little bit promoted for to kind of quote unquote hide. This Earth, we've been hidden. They have hid all these facts because, like, I've also loved space. I love NASA. I love the idea of space. Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it. I was a big fan of all those kind of things.
Me too.
And then when I started to discover that Earth is flat, I was a little bit sad. I was sad that I'm not going to have fucking space travel and stuff like that. But the truth is truth, and I just share it the way it is. So.
Yeah, no, I only knew that from 2016. Before 2016, it was a yellow sun, and it was a big-ass Earth, and I was a helmsman. Took a ship down to Australia, way down the end. I stood watches, and I used to watch ships come over the horizon. So all the old math was correct for me. But in 2016, I woke up, went back to work at the Museum of Flight, and all the math was off the table. There was a whole new fucking ballgame.
Well, they've been fudging math for a long time, and you can fudge the math as much as you want. You know, you say, oh, you know, because the relative size of the sun and the moon is exactly the same.
Yeah, it is. Well, in this place, yes. In this place,
let me read you guys this text real quick. This Salvatorus 111 wrote, "This is new to me. So how do they planes fly?" Interesting. The reason I brought that up just now because by talking about this, it's new to a lot of people.
Hydrogen,
right?
And you're telling me some good stuff that you just made it even more interesting for me to study it more. That's what you just did.
I'm gonna shut up, Mike. Tell him about the hydrogen.
The hydrogen in the planes?
Yeah.
only thing I know at all is I've learned from a Plain Truth for You. There's a channel, and he is talking about these their Royce engines, right? Rolls-Royce engines, and they pressurized air to pressurized air to power, quote unquote. They don't use jet fuel. They cannot put like, I don't know, 60 cars worth of jet fuel on the wings of these planes. It's impossible for them to do. I remember somebody else talking about it because this, the engines, the tits on the wind on the plane, like, right? Somebody had called Boeing. Somebody had called Boeing and asked them about that. Hey, like, did you guys change the engines or something? And people were like, no, they've always been like shoved up, like way up front, because they were like just completely under the wings.
Oh, they were,
But some of the engineers were completely perplexed. They, from the actual, I cannot remember the name or who called when, what, but some of the engineers at Boeing, they were completely perplexed how it had happened, and so it's like we're all Mandela affected. It's just some people they acknowledge that Mandela effect happens, and other people, they deny it. I think this is kind of where we are.
Well, you're good to say that. No, you've done fucking fantastic. I'm gonna jump on that platform to help your thing out. The people don't understand is I worked for a place. Museum of Flight was attached to Boeing, so we had Boeing engineers.
Sponsored,
come in. What people don't know about Boeing is they think of Boeing and they think of NASA and Boeing the same way. They think of one building with a bunch of fucking workers. It don't work that way. No. Boeing is one building. One building builds the fuselage. The other ones build the wings. And the other ones do the electricity and all that. And the other ones do the engines. They are not best friends. They do not have coffee breaks together. Boeing workers only know what they know. You have a riveter that does riveting and the fucking whatever's for the fuselage. You have the people who put the refrigerators in. You have people who do this and this and this and that. In fact, what people didn't know about, they probably don't remember, is they even contracted Boeing stuff out to Brazil. And when they contracted to Brazil, we had a huge problem at Boeing because they had to switch from the metric system to the regular math that we have in the States. And when they converted the machines over the metric to regular math, or not regular math, American math, they had a major problem. Things weren't fitting correctly. You had a lot of planes having fucking almost takedowns that were going, there were all these problems. And Japan was the one making the batteries. The batteries were catching fire, if you remember that from our time. They're catching fire. All the time, the fucking batteries were catching fire. And so there was another problem. They were kept employing things out deliberately at one time. All of a sudden, Boeing, nobody's having coffee breaks together. The guy that builds the thing and the guy that builds that made the battery aren't having coffee breaks. He's in Japan. He's in Brazil. This person's on the other side of the United States. There was a time when it was all together in one state, but Boeing separated everything at one time. I wonder why. But they separated everything else so nobody knows what the other Boeing employee is doing.
Yeah,
so when
there's a word.
Exactly what you're saying. So they call a Boeing employee, hey, man, this is the guy that works on the fucking fuselage. Hey, those engines. What about the engines?
Compartmentalization. It's called compartmentalization, and everybody's got their little cells that they work in, and they're just part of the whole thing. There is a top level guy who probably knows how everything's get put together, et cetera, et cetera. NASA works that way. Boeing works that way. Raytheon works that way. Everybody works that way. Government works that way. And that's what I say. That's why 99.5% of the guys in the military, they're good guys. I have a lot of friends. I lived in Korea. I had a lot of guys friends who were in the military there in Korea. And hey, thank you for your service. Okay, I say it now. Okay.
Thank you.
Friends who were in the army, and I have nothing against them. But obviously, after 9/11, we go to Iraq. We go to Afghanistan. We want to go to Iran. And we send our soldiers, and they're good people. But
They don't want to be there.
The lie. Americans bought a lie. And here's another little interesting fact from my memory from my history is that when Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese, the Roosevelt cabinet knew, and they already intercepted that from the Japanese that they were going to do it. They allowed the Japanese to attack Pearl Harbor, and they allowed the Japanese to, and that's why they had all the battleships all parked in the harbor. If they knew the Japanese were going to attack, they would not be sitting there like sitting ducks.
Yeah.
And have more than 2,200 armed military guys who were literally sacrificed. Why? Because secretly they wanted to go to war. They wanted to go to war, and they knew that this would make America demand for war because America was an isolationist. They say, hey, the war is happening in Europe. We were already in World War I. We don't want to get involved. Okay? This is Asia business. This is European business. This is not our fucking business. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Same memory, man. They call it, there's a name they used. They used it in the papers. Those of you with the Mandela effect or think you have the Mandela effect, or those of you quantum jumping like myself, or those of you getting off narcotics, my primary audience, will remember that that big-ass word they use when they say that when they bomb, he's correct. 100% down the line. Again, that's why I like Mike. He's correct. They received the transmission, but they said, let it go. This means nothing. The whole fucking fleet was on the way to go to fucking Korea. Our great uncle, Big John, was there. We know the story. Our great uncle was there. He was in Pearl Harbor. We used to hear the stories. We go camping and hunting and fishing with my uncle. He talked about the invasion when they come right over. They knew it was coming. Number one, it was the holiday. It was Christmas time. Everybody was on leave. Everybody, like 9/11, everybody was out of the building. There we go, all back to 9/11 again. And same thing happened in Pearl Harbor. Everybody was on leave. You only had duty personnel. Why did they fucking do so well in Pearl Harbor? Why did Japan do so fantastic in Pearl Harbor? Why did they defeat the Americans? Because the Americans only on duty. It was a small duty staff. I was in the Navy. A duty staff, a ship is fucking almost empty. Only the duty staff are there, especially during the holidays. You have people on duty. That's it. And when you're off duty, you get to leave. So you have people rotating in off the holiday to come stand 2-day duty. So you have a duty section only on the ships. They're not gunners, mates. These are cooks, man. These are cooks. These are fucking guys that deliver the mail. These are deck department. These aren't gunners, mates. You've got maybe 3 gunners, mates, on the whole fucking ship. A big-ass battleship. You've got maybe a duty of maybe 12. It's a bigger ship. 12. Right. So when the fucking Pearl Harbor happens, you've got a few guys that can handle the fucking guns. You've got cooks. You've got people that other departments. You've got people that check the weather. You've got people who don't have anything to do with weapons. They're running down there fucking picking up shit, shooting the air. They don't fucking know the weapon. They're Navy guys. Not everybody's qualified for each fucking rank. So the duty sections with the general quarters with a handful of fucking people on a massive ship. Take it on. They can't bring down the planes. And plus, the Japanese told some of these pilots, if not a lot of them, were not skilled Japanese pilots. They were children that were told. They were given a sword of the samurai and say, you are a samurai soldier. Your job is to take your life. And they drove their planes. They couldn't fly. They taught them to take off. They didn't know how to land.
Can I let me mention something real quick, and I'll let you guys continue this conversation. Because a lot of people probably don't even know why we're talking about military stuff. Because in the beginning, I made a comment that somebody says something not nice about military people. The reason I'm so extra sensitive right now because Robert Wood's son, Jeremiah Wood, is in the military, and he's in a second boot camp because he's switching from Navy to the Marines, and in a month or so. After this boot camp, he might be stationed in Iraq.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when people say that's why I get a little insensitive. People talk down that they don't show respect because Jeremiah's a great guy. They were all staying here for a while, and one of the guys who were staying here at my house a couple weeks ago just came from Iran.
back.
Yeah, he actually was in Iran. So these are great kids, man. These are great kids, and they didn't have a choice where they go. So continue on. I just want to bring that out, but that's why I'm sensitive. Continue.
Mike and I are in agreement. Go ahead, Mike. I'm going to share that with you about that. Mike, share your stuff, man.
Get some coffee.
Yeah. Look, like I pray for them, and like I have nothing against the military. Like I have a lot of friends who are in the military. Great people. Everybody is like, you know, and you're right. Like, who are the people who going into the military? They don't go there because they feel like most people, because they feel like they have to, you know, they don't have a lot of choice, right? And you know, being in the U.S. military, it's a big opportunity for a lot of people. I have a good friend of mine who was in the military for 7 years. It paid for his university. It paid for his education. It got him a job. You know, like it's just circumstances. But
a college degree.
In the bigger picture way, like if you look at the big picture way, for example, if you go back to World War II, what we're just talking about is that Japan was actually placed under sanctions prior to World War to force them to expand, because it's an island country, right?
Yes,
and the US actually put sanctions on them, knowing that the sanctions would make them be more aggressive, right? And the Japanese knew that they would have to eventually go to war with America, because they would have to go to Southeast Asia, to Australia, to procure oil for all their shit and everything else. And then that's the reason why they were provoked to attack the U.S. Navy on Pearl Harbor, right?
Convenient.
The U.S. They calculated that, and they knew that this would force them to attack, because Pearl Harbor, the next closest harbor was San Francisco after Hawaii, and that's thousands of miles away, and it would take months of preparation to salvage the ships, build ships. People would demand for war, and boom, you got yourself a war. Okay.
Yeah. Wake up the sleeping giant.
Hey, JoJo's Road. I served in the Army, and my oldest son retired from the Air Force. Never dishonor those who serve. We don't choose where they send us.
Exactly. Yeah, I got put in a lot kinds of fucking places. I got to see a whole lot of bullshit. You guys talk about lies, man. I got fucking put right into the pile of. I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I got that, but you know what? You're under orders, man. You don't fucking. You're under orders. You just do what you're told. But afterwards, when you're out, it's like they'll fuck your life up if you talk. But fuck it.
I said it. I said it in the beginning of the show. You know, I got more reason to hate the government and stuff, because when I got injured, they give me a medical discharge, and I didn't want to get out. I should have more hate than most people, but I will never hate people who volunteer, or I will never hate policemen, firemen. Even whatever you think about 9/11. Firemen, people who helped, died. You got to give those people respect, man.
I'll tell you guys what, because I always tell people, I encourage you guys. You want to know about my ship? It's the USS Blue Ridge LCC 19. Look it up on Google. 1994 USS Blue Ridge LCC 19, and the whole goddamn thing changed for me. Everything fucking changed in the service. However, there are two unique things on that ship you guys want to look at. It's called tandem thrust and focus lens. And tell me what you think about that on my ship. And then I ain't talking about that because I don't feel like going to jail, but there's a whole lot of shit you guys don't know about with the military. That wouldn't
Jojo says I got an honorable medical discharge as well. Yeah. And you would think they could have used me for something else. I understand I was on the security part for the ships to, go get the fisher smugglers and the Coast Guard.
You know what my rank is? E1. They busted me down. They put me in the brig, and I stood in front of fucking court-martial. Stood in front of court-martial at E1. Stripped me of everything. But see, I had dirt on everybody up there, and they all let me walk with full medical benefits, I was fucked up at the time, full medical disability, full everything. Well, 70% because I wanted to keep working. But they threw my ass out like a fucking old raggy ass fucking doll too. So either way, it don't matter. I went on and got my fucking college degree, got an advanced degree, I was a post-bac, for my doctorate. Couldn't afford my doctorate, and thank God I didn't pay for it. So I got all my shit too, thanks to the military. Even though they fucked me over, fucked him over, fucked a lot of people over, and anybody with information, they're getting fucked over. Anybody that knows about what's really happening are getting fucked over. So yeah, I don't care. I don't die.
Right.
This is kind of cool. Truth Hurts wrote, I pulled out a world map today for my mom to look at. She now is woke.
Good. A lot of people are waking up. In fact, having Mike talk about the Twin Towers the way he remembers it in an anger state will make other people go, no. Passion.
Heavy passion.
Shut the fuck up and let me tell you how I remember it. Shut up. And he was like, correct. Everyone was like, no, he's right. That's how I remember it. That's exactly how I remember. I don't know what the fuck these guys are talking about, but that's it. Correct. 100%. Now I was like, dude, what was the magic number on this? What's the magic number? 13. So now you know. Now you're like, okay, let's fuck everything. Now you're like, I didn't figure out what this 13 shit is about, because now there's a numerical thing going on. It's repeated everywhere. Repeated in the movies, repeated on the streets, repeated when you look at the clock in the morning and you got to take a piss. God damn, it's 11:33. That's weird. You're seeing the numbers. Everything's repeated all the time. It's right. God talking to you. So what is God saying to you? What is this? I don't believe in the whole Freemasonry. I was in Freemasonry. Got the fuck out away from them guys. They're all fucking pedophiles. So I'll get the fuck away from those guys.
We do got a religious person in the chat. His name is Grateful to Jesus. And he wrote, because I don't believe truth can change. Which, hey, that's his opinion. That's fine.
Well, we're seeing the truth. If you believe in the Bible's telling you the truth. The Bible's telling you the truth. Always keep your memories, man. Don't give up your memory. Don't let two fucking assholes up here get you jarred up to the point where you're fucking grabbing your shit and throwing it down like misremembering yourself. You remember what you remember. Mike says, okay, guys, fuck you. Without saying that. He didn't say that. In a nice way. I'll just speak for him. Let me tell you what I fucking remember. And then exactly what he remembered. No matter what we say, it don't matter. He knows what he knows. And he got it out there. And it's the same thing I remember. I'm just talking about some other people got an earlier vision, and it could be just them as an individual, but it looked like fools. I was screaming things in 2009, obviously, I looked like an idiot for, but it doesn't matter. And now it's significant. And now I just look at the fucking changes. I look at my Harley Davidson. I was telling people, what's the Harley Davidson thing? I've had a pinstriped by hand Harley Davidson. Then it changed to Harley Davidson. What's Harley Davidson about? It's
Mike said it exactly. He said it exactly how I wanted to hear from a new show. Exactly on a new effect. He said exactly what I was trying to say. I want to hear something new. When you and I did our very first ever Mandela Effect, like 3 years ago, remember I interviewed you on the green screen on my other channel that got taken down by YouTube. You had a book. You had information to show me. You had newspaper clips.
Yeah, I had tons of shit.
All new stuff. And that's all I was asking. Just
when the changes happen,
something that's going to change everything, or you think it change everything. Make sure you have some things to back it up.
Then I was kicked out for wearing a dress and a bra. I was kicked off YouTube for a while for wearing a dress and a bra.
But now, if I ever need to sell something, if I have to sell something, I'm sending you and Mike to sell stuff for me, because you guys can sell shit, man. You guys can sell fucking rocks to Eskimos, man. You guys are great talkers. You guys are great talkers. And
he has the Mandela effect. He has the. Well, I don't like using that word because I figured out it's a fake name for a bunch of. Anyway, we have the shift effect. We have the brand.
It becomes a brand. You know, it's something everybody knows.
It's a pop culture name.
Yeah, it's pop culture, but what to do is I always tell people, hey, I don't like using the word Mandela effect, but that's what you know it.
But you know,
we actually had shows about that. Why can't we just rename it? But I understand it's pop culture. People know.
Those guys stuck it. They made it on purpose. They actually did it again. I'm not. People go out there and just debunk me, man. But Africa did not have anything about him dying. So people understand, in Africa, they did not have any information about Nelson Mandela dying. Only in the European nations. And they only had information about him coming out of prison. Now, what about that? Think about that. Only the European nations got information about him dying. And then the European nations got him information, and Africa got information about him leaving the prison. Now both got it. So now people are screaming, I remember him dying. Well, of course you did, because they filmed it that way. As it goes, the media told you he died, but didn't die in Africa. And when people want to go back again and look at fucking his actual funeral, go look at Barack Hussein Obama, and there's a translator standing next to him who's doing translations for Barack Hussein Obama, which is in fact a government fucking agent. He's a goddamn CIA asshole. Anyway, he's doing sign. And he's saying bad heart, liar, bad heart, demon, bad heart, liar, bad heart. Go back and look at it for yourself. You'll see him standing right next to Barack Hussein Obama doing bad heart, bad heart, bad heart. And they kicked him off. They said, who's this crazy man he didn't do anything but actual sign. He was using local indigenous sign for this man is evil. He's lying. He's lying to you. And I'm saying, don't trust me. Go back and look at the research. Go back and look at Barack Hussein Obama. Go look at the funeral and look at the man standing next to him doing the bad heart, saying bad things, lies.
Like Barack Obama, a.k.a. Barry Soetoro, born in okay? He's got his Hawaiian birth certificate. That's been diagnosed by 2 independent forensics agencies, one in America, one in Italy, one in America. They both had said that there's a 95% chance plus that this document is a forgery. Okay, if they had more birth certificates to compare Obama's birth certificate, they said they would have 99% plus in terms of probability that it is a forgery. Okay,
fake.
Obama's husband, Michael Obama, seen dancing on Ellen, and there was some equipment malfunction there. Okay.
I know. I the only reason why I want to jump on that bandwagon, believe me, I'm so close, and I satire that I can't definitively say that man has a fucking junk. I slipped in there and said that man has junk, only because women in this timeline have robust skeletal structures, and a lot of women look like men now. It's just what the genetics goes now for the Mandela effect. I know she's got. I heard people in the military. Now, let me say this, guys. 100%. I swear to fucking God, may fucking lightning come down with my fucking devil hat on. That there was guys in the military who told me personally that was a man. Now, maybe they're full of shit. Let's take that out. If I can take that into context, but maybe they're liars. However, I was told that, and I laughed it off then. And I'm like, okay. Are you telling me that's a man? They're like, yep, these are military guys that have been around, said Michelle, who said that was a man.
Right. Whatever. Hey, I don't have anything against gays or trannies, or if you want to go fuck animals, do it on your own time. And then if you want to be just be open about it. That's cool. Yeah. Hey, man, like, I like to be with dudes. I'm like, cool, man. And I want to run for president. All right. What are your policies? I don't care. I don't care what you do in your private time. I don't care what you do to the sheets. Like, what are your policies? What are your stance? Like, what matters? Be upfront about it. But everybody knows that he fucking lied about it.
Well, our brother became our sister. And being trans, and because the way she was treated by people, treated by the community, let's just say she's no longer with us.
Yeah, and of course, like anybody who transitions, they're multiple times higher in terms of their.
Not just say it.
Yeah, in suicide, percentage-wise, they have multiple times higher. Yep. It's just fact. Like, I'm adopted. I'm adopted from Korea to America. Yeah. Okay, I'm an Asian guy. I grew up around 99.9% white people in Wisconsin. Yeah. Okay, and people like we have like 12 to 20 times more likely chance of committing suicide than quote unquote a normal guy who's got a regular parents and they were born in the States or whatever. It's just statistics. It's just I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just a matter of fact. Okay. and it sucks. I'm not promoting any kind of negative judgment towards these type of people. But
you're not.
I think if you are a tranny, this is just my opinion. If you are a tranny and then you like to get attention from guy, and the dude, he doesn't know that you're a tranny, for example, you know?
Correct.
Do you think the dude has the right to know that before he, takes you out, wines and dines you, go for a movie, make out with you, and then, you fucking hook up, and then, later, hey, I transitioned from a guy to a girl. What do you think about that? Like, do you think a guy should have the right to know or not? In my mind, he should.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Yeah.
Go and, like a tattoo on their arm, or make them wear bands like a Jew band around their arm, and say, hey, label these guys. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But like, it's just like, come on, like, let's use some common sense.
Well, yeah, it's like that movie, the Crying Game, where there's that scene where he found out for the first time. If I remember right, he went in the bathroom, threw up because it was shot. He was like, "What the fuck?"
No, let's end this movie correctly. Now, homie was disgusted by it. I ain't endorsing shit, but in the movie, homie came around at the end and says, "You know what?"
Came around.
Hell no.
He came around. But the part is the first shock of like, oh my God. It's just like, okay, I'm married, I have kids, but it'd be like if I got divorced and I'm dating, I should tell that person, I just want to let you know I do have kids and they live with me. It's the right thing to do, or otherwise they might like, oh my God, I don't want to be with this person with kids.
Yeah. A tranny or gay or heterosexual, it has nothing to do with that. It's just being transparent.
Yeah, transparent. There you go.
And you know what was nice? There was something nice.
I had this situation. I've seen the situation. So I've seen it in the military. I've had, because of the round the area I had to work at, I had a buddy of mine, I can fucking say shit, to kind of mow it over. I had a buddy of mine, we're in a bar, and I reminded these guys this is a buy me drink bar. You know what this means? That means there's nobody's on the fucking table for anything. It's a buy me drink, which means conversation only. So have a great time, have a drink, whatever, but there's no hitting up on anything. If you get hit on something, I respectfully say don't do it. Just don't do it. It's a buy me drink bar. So I'm in the bar, we're having a buy me drink, and I'm having a great time laughing. The music was good. People are dancing, whatever have you. This is the military. This is in a third world Asian country. No offense to world Asian, just we'll say generally. So one of my buddies comes out and he's fucking screaming. He's in the bathroom. We're pulling him out of the fucking bathroom. He's having a fucking conniption fit. We're dragging him outside. There's a problem with the management. We get him outside. I calm him and slap his fucking face down. Well, what the hell's wrong with you? He said, I was getting a little bit of something done. I said, what did you get done? This is a buy me drink bar. Well, I'm getting something done. And he explains to me what that was. I said, dude, I know what's wrong with you. Calm the fuck down. You're a normal human being. But just calm down. Took him to the nearest place with a phone. We're going to he's an East Coaster. Do you have a priest? Do you have somebody in the church? Somebody at the church. He's a Catholic. Let's call, we call a Catholic priest. I give him the phone before he goes fucking ape shit. I said, can you talk to the priest for a minute, man, before you go ape shit? Because what happened was he didn't know. Okay, so he didn't know. He was really, really out of hand. He could have hurt a lot of people. He didn't know. Thank God he was a Catholic, and the Catholic priest, not all of them are like, but he had a good one, and he talked him down from the fucking top of the roof, you might say. So he was okay after that. Okay, so in other words, you're the same guy we walked in with, man. Don't sweat that. Okay, I wish they had been a little more transparent in this conversation of a deal. Right. Like you said. That would have caused, and it did cause potentially a huge problem. We calmed it down, thanks God, and we called his priest. But it did cause a problem at the time. Transparency is a must in relationships.
But get off on some of these guys get off on the fact that they can fool you, right? I mean, if you ever, hey, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Southeast Asia, I've been to the Philippines, and I've seen, and you cannot. They look even better than girls, even. I tell you.
Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling everybody that. Thank you. I don't look like a fool when I say that. Thank you, Mike, for saying that.
But you know what's cool? the guy said about the guy's preacher or priest, whatever, like talk him down. We actually have a church down the road that actually accepted Michael as a transgender and allowed gays and stuff. So I want people to hear that not all churches are against gays, transgender, and all that. We actually had a church that accepted him. I just want you can continue, Mike. I just wanted to bring that in there, that not all churches against it. There is some church that are for people being themselves. Okay, I'm sorry. You.
Like my sister, I have 2 adopted sisters. I'm adopted from Korea. They're also adopted from Korea. My parents had 3 children of their own. Okay, and then they decided to adopt 3 kids. I'm the youngest in the family. My sister, who is just above me, she was a lesbian in high school. She was a lesbian with my best friend's sister. Okay, so it was a little bit awkward. Okay, and, when they had, girls, right? They're in high school. Of course, they're gonna fight, and I often had to relay messages to my best friend, and he would relay that message to his sister, and it was just things worked out that way. But she's Asian, she's Korean American, and we grew up in a small town, and you're always gonna have people who are not gonna be in favor of that kind of behavior, right? That kind of mindset is always going to happen. And, I experienced racism. I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin. That doesn't mean everybody racist. It happens. It happened. It was just a matter of fact. You're one Asian guy in a town of 8,000 people. You're going to believe that some guy is not, everybody's going to be like, oh, let's, kumbaya and hold hands. And, somebody's going to be fucking racist to you. You're fat, you get picked on. You're stupid, you get picked on. You got a stupid mole on your face, you get picked on. And to me, it's just anybody has any kind of reason to get picked on, they're going to get picked on, okay? Yeah. You're going to have the resolve and the character to say, hey, fuck you, man. I don't give a fuck. I'm gay or I'm trans, and then you deal with it. But when they go violent, that's another story. Yes. That's another story, okay? Psychologically, emotionally, I can understand how difficult things are. I can understand that. But you can't let people grind you down. I say, fuck them. But if people get with you, hey, man, I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe you have the right to protect yourself, arm yourself. If I was living in the States, I would fucking get a gun too. Trust me, okay? Like and the worst places are the places where they don't allow guns, actually, because criminals care about law so much, right? Criminals care about law so much that those are the places where they know it's easy pickings. Where's crime not going to happen? Where your grandma's got a gun in her purse, where your grandpa's got a gun in his pocket, when, your sister's got a gun in her purse, like who's going to rob a store where everybody's sitting at a dinner table and they could all potentially have a gun? Nobody's going to rob that place. Trust me.
Yep. Correct, man. Correct.
I know exactly what he's talking about. Trust me, I've been picked on my whole life as a kid.
Yeah.
I've been picked on for being deaf. I've been picked on for having crooked teeth. I've just been constantly picked on. People said my kids are going to be retarded because I was retarded. Dude, I'm serious. Bob will tell you, my teeth, my dad, my mom left when I was a baby. We had no money. We lived in a fucking apartment building next to an auction with chicken fights every weekend.
Horns Manor. And believe it or not, it's called Horns Manor, and it's not an apartment complex. It's a work camp for Latino field workers.
And listen, and I understand. And I understand we're white, Caucasian. I'm not saying we're not privileged and all that, but we were the only white family in a Mexican community in the auction. And, I'm not saying I seen firsthand prejudice like a color person has or not, but we had our share, man. We had our share, and I never let it get me fucking down. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. People said that we were going to be in jail. We're going to be in prison, my whole family. And guess what? None of us have ever been in jail. We've been in the military. We got college degrees. So everybody who used to say shit about us, you know what? Fuck you. I'm sorry.
Hey, life is always going to shit on you. It's just matter of fact. Life is suffering. Life is pain. And everybody's got fucking problems, all right? Your problem's not big or smaller than anybody else's.
Yeah, you know about Booty Zadfa. 90 was it life is 90% suffering, 10% happiness. That's what I remembered. No such change. 90% suffering, 10% happiness. And then I'm hoping for the 10%. I'm hoping we're taking a little tiptoe into the 10% now. That 90% was pretty fucking rough. I know it's rough for you, Mike. It's rough for Eric. It was rough for a lot of people with the Mandela effect, we call it. I'm hoping that 90% is over. Now, we're all doing the best we can to come in community, but we got to stop fighting. I know that, number one. Can't be calling out motherfuckers anymore. I'm like, we got to stop, man. I want to enjoy that 10%.
It's very simple to me. Like, to me, you have to present a point of view, back it up with something, talk the talk, walk the walk, and be respectful. It's very simple. Okay? Golden rule.
And do not pick and choose who goes on your show. Give everybody a shot to talk, because people control the environment who goes on the show. Do not stop people that have something to say.
And why do you think people do that? Why would they do that? Because they have an agenda. They want to skew a point of view that favors them, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then here's another thing. This idea about trolls. There are genuine trolls out there, okay? To me, I define a troll as somebody who is deliberately obtuse and a person who is even getting paid to be disingenuous piece of shit, okay? That's a troll, okay? But majority of people are just normal people. They're just behind in terms of understanding, okay? They're not up to speed about things. If you just give them the time and give them a chance to hear out, because, hey, you know, we all kind of bunch up in the middle. Nobody's a fucking genius here, okay? I consider myself just an average dude, okay? I'm not a genius at all or whatever. I'm just an average dude. I'm in the middle, okay? And I also don't have like a clear understanding about everything. But there was a point when I believed the earth was a globe. Now I'm a flat earther. I'm not saying that everybody should be a flat earther, but I came around. We were not Mandela affected at some point, but we came around because we saw the evidence. And if we present the facts, if we present the evidence in the right way to people, they might have a chance of agreeing with you. Yeah.
I always say geocentric. What are you? I'm a geocentric. Thank you very much. I'm the back of the turtle geocentric. They're like, what does that mean? They don't even know what the word means. I am geocentric. How are you?
There he is. Hold on. Did I lose you? Was that me?
Lost. I got lost. That's okay.
Okay, cool. I thought I accidentally knocked him off.
Probably one of those. He's probably in a cat. Are you one of those internet cafes? Are you at your house? Are you at your cabin?
I live, dude. I live in a hut. I'm not in an internet.
And you have to pay for your data, right?
Yeah, I have limited data every day. It's fine. I'm enjoying to talk to you. I've already used half of my data, but it's fine. Like even if I use up all my data, because right now I think the conversation, unless you have somebody else on, I'm happy to get off.
No. I like to keep the same three. I don't like to have too many different people. You know, usually once we're done talking, you know, the show's over.
Yeah, I want you guys to understand. We bring anybody on now. I want you guys to look at Mike on his videos. He's not a very handsome man. He's not handsome at all, you ladies. So, but we bring him on anyway. Now, I myself have been rumored to be a very ugly man, so I bring Mike on. I feel a little bit better. So when he's on here, I feel a little bit better about myself. So I want to make sure.
Hold on. Let me play the intro real quick.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
Sorry, guys, I had to do that because we're all beautiful.
Hey, guys, that intro is, man.
Is that? Are you liking it more now?
I never disliked it. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. From the beginning, that was pretty sweet, man.
Somebody sent me a text and email saying, dude, you got to get yourself an intro. I'm like, why do I need an intro? So, okay, I'll put one together.
But when I make my videos, I always say people like watch my videos, and again, I do apologize for those of you who don't know what I'm doing in my videos. I always say I'm going to make a horrible. This has got to be the worst one I'm ever going to make tonight. And then I go into my video, and then people are like, "The fuck is wrong with this guy?" But now Mike knows. He'll be talking to probably the other person I talk to. He'll be like, "Oh, now I get what he's doing." I make the worst videos on purpose. I literally don't care. I do care. I get the conversation started. I get the information out there. I get things motivated. And especially, I get a lot of emails from people getting off narcotics. Now, Mike's over, obviously, up there. He's up there sober as fuck. People that are on drugs, that are getting off, that watch my shit, that laugh. They laugh. To be truthful, a lot of people I bring on, I can't bring them off very long because they're laughing.
You know why I laughed? Because sometimes you do a show and you pretend the volume is off, and then I'll watch people in the chat going, "Dude, your audio's off. Your audio's off." And your audio's not off. It is just like, I want to tell them, but it's not my show to tell them. And it's like,
not off. It's not off. I just do it. I do it for an anthropological experiment to see who can hang in there and what reactions do I get from people emotionally. I want to see what I get. I want to see these people that claim to have this Mandela effect. Watch this piece of shit. Just fuck with people because they're used to the standard. You're used to watching news, and you're used to watching an organized show, and everything is perfect, and we're going to have this done, this. He's almost organized. I make sure it's completely not organized, completely off the fucking bullshit. I want to see, I always, like, as you know, martial artist yourself, I use drunken monkey technique just to go ahead and do certain things to see what people can do. And Mike caught on. A little bit. He's like, he caught on. Now I made sure he got contact with my person that's on. Now he knows. Okay. He's like, okay. But other people don't know. That's why my subs have always stayed low. I purposely keep my shit fucked up to stay low. Anybody who's watched Robert Wood from 2016 knows how come he never goes past a certain number? Because I deliberately I will fuck up my sidebar.
You have 1,000. You have over 1,000. We do have over 1,000.
Well, thanks to you and Brian and guys like Mike watching now. Mike would never watch my show before that shit, before your show. Mike wouldn't watch my show before your show, but now he went over to he watching my show from your show. So, but he gets it. But nobody would ever jump over. I just kept the same thing going, and I have a couple of diehards from 2016 at Watch from the originals, and they take the codes down and they know what I'm doing. People that have watched, I had people leave. They've sent me emails. I can't watch you no more. You're a disgusting human being. You're racist. You're judgmental. You're an alcoholic that needs problems.
Yeah.
You're a druggie.
Anybody who knows you knows you are none of that.
You know,
you give your shirt to people.
I have more of a problem with people who are racist who pretend not to be racist than people who are racist. Who are more upfront about it, you know? It's just ignorance, you know? Like, we're all a little bit racist to a degree. Hey, hey, do I see you and say, hey, you guys are like, you know, not purple, not brown, you know, I don't see any Asian. Like, I look at you, you're white. Just seeing you as being, you know, seeing the fact that you are white, it's kind of weird. You look at me and, hey, he's Asian. Oh, you know, like, dude, I grew up. And you know, I'm not for affirmative action. I never fucking like this affirmative action shit. Actually, I think it actually brings people down more than it actually puts them up. Because now it's been lowered. Oh, you know, you're Asian or you're black, and now, you know, because you're a minority, let's lower the standard for you. Like, it's like let's run a 100-meter race, and you only run 80 meters. You only run 80 meters. Everybody else fucking run 100 meters. I'm like, no, fuck that. Let's run 110 meters.
I make sure I always say make sure I say the Chinese. Well, that's the Korean. You know, and it just pisses off people. People that know me are going, people that are people of the Chinese descent, whatever, they're laughing. They're laughing. Yeah. This is hilarious. He's saying it like that. I say, hey, you're a nigger. You're a fucking Chinese. You're a Korean.
No.
Hey, hold on 1 second. The California and Mr. Bifle Show. Gypsy Road, send me a link. I'll join you guys.
Oh shit! Here we go.
On, that's fine. She's great to be on.
Okay.
Like on the show, and then I will go on the sidelines because I think I've spoken enough with you guys. You know, and she's
Great,
great. It's great. Get her on the show.
He's a martial artist. That's why I don't mind him when we don't.
Well, I just sent her a link, so if she wants to jump on now, she can.
I'll just say hello and I'll get off, man. And thank you guys so much for letting me on. And then it was great talking to you guys. You guys have my utmost respect. Thanks for the service and everything. And you know, you guys are really great. And I really appreciate it.
Do the enlightenment.
I invited you before because I like your company on the show.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Like because like you know, we don't want to cook the show. You guys are cooks, and Callie's a great girl. Hello.
Aw, you're making me blush.
What the hell are you eating? Subway still?
Yeah, well, yeah, Mike worked at Subway.
I did, yeah. I worked at a Subway station, and I worked at Subway. There was one Subway in my hometown in Wisconsin, and I worked there during the summer making sandwiches. It was a great job, actually. You can make all the sandwiches you want, and the macadamia nut cookies were the best. I tell you, you know.
So, are we saying that Bob knew you're coming along, so he got a Subway sandwich?
And I knew he was going to talk about Building 7 also.
Working at Subway was the worst. Like when I would fall asleep at night, I would be playing Tetris, and then as I would pass out, the Tetris would turn into sandwiches, and I would be making sandwiches in my head as I was falling asleep.
Both of you worked at Subway. Both of you worked at Subway?
When I was 14, yeah.
14? Hey, I give you respect, man. It's hard to get a 14-year-old to get out of their room nowadays.
What's up?
Just wake up, Callie.
Yeah, I'm still in bed.
Oh my God. It's like 1 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon over there.
She's West Coast time like me, so it's 12:56 for her.
No, my name's California. I'm in Saskatchewan. It's 3 p.m.
Really? Okay.
What are you wearing?
I plead the fifth.
I'm very heterosexual. I had to try. I'm not being sexist, racist, or any kind of is. I'm just going to ask as a man. And she said no. So yeah.
So how are you today? What are you up to?
I was just on Discord, and then Mike sent me the link to this, and I saw your guys' title, and I was wondering how it was going.
It's going good. I think we kind of not really talk about the title. We got on to other subjects that we talked for a long time about. So
nice. Allie has a Discord channel, and she has a lot of Mandela animals there. She wants to make she wants to compile like a Wikipedia for Mandela, and like people can get on there and they can put their information about their experiences or any kind of residue, this kind of stuff. She is fantastic with networking, computer stuff. I don't know shit about computers. She has several computers and devices. I don't know what she knows, but she knows all that shit. So she's a great person, that kind of stuff. So I'll let you guys talk to her, and I'm going to get off because I want to save some of my data so I can listen to the show. And
well, I appreciate you jumping on.
Get out of here.
I respect you, and I'll talk to you later.
Later, dude.
Talk to you later. What's
Summer? Talk to us.
But how come there's two okay, I get it. She's showing us her computer. Well, is this your I don't know if you want me to call you California, you want me to call you by another name or not, but is Kelly, okay. Is this your first time actually watching the show?
She can't speak because she
hold on. I'm sorry about that, Kelly. I actually rated out your picture. I've first time watching the show.
No, I've commented on your videos and I've been in the chat several times. So yeah.
Because usually the title of a show is just a starting piece to start a conversation, and we just go into whatever we go into. Because I always believe that I like just talking about anything. I don't want nothing to really be scripted. But when I titled it Heaven and Hell, it's just because we had an original guest that couldn't come on. And the reason I had this title, it was because when Bob was telling me other shows to check out, right? He was telling me, hey, you should check out this show. And I remember going to the show, and he had this one guy on several times. I don't know his name. It wasn't Patrick, some other guy.
I see one of those.
And all they were talking about was walking with Jesus and God. And guys, I admit I'm not a practicing religion person, but I noticed a lot of shows that I went to another show where they were talking about Bibles, and I said, I remember I'm mentioning a question like, how often does a Bible change? And then everybody was beating me up on this channel, like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, dude, I was just asking a question. I was just asking a question. I wasn't saying I didn't believe it.
Is that a dog?
So the reason I had this title was because I wanted to ask people. I wanted to ask people: does Mandela effect and religion, does it really go together like 50-50? Because it seems like a lot of channels always had hardcore religion with Mandela effect. So what's your guys' opinion on that?
Well, my opinion is that over 90% of the people involved in the Mandela effect are Christian. And I think it's being a little bit conservative. It really does seem majority of Christians, but it doesn't mean that all Christians are Mandela affected, because that's certainly not the case. I've spoken to a lot of Christians, even church going people. They're not seeing it. And even if they see it, they shut it down immediately. I know that Brian had played some audio clips on his show, I think, where somebody had, called and talked to a pastor or something. And and they're not too interested in it. So it is interesting to see the amount of Christian people in the community. And I know there's a lot of converted Christians, but I'm not sure how much of that has to do with the fact that this starts happening and people want answers and they're like, whoa. But what I think is really interesting is, first of all, it sucks how prejudiced and asshole-ish, like, pardon my language, a lot of the Christian communities are, because I go in there and I feel like it's a joke. Like somebody's like playing a prank on me. They're like rebuking each other. They're like, I rebuke you. And then like, they're rebuking them, and like everybody's screaming, and they're like, you're new age. You're new age. I rebuke you in the name of Christ. And I'm just like, oh my God.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I was like, Christian community, you got a group of another community that believes in Jesus and God. Why don't you embrace it and get these people to come over? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I gotta pee. I'll be right back, guys.
They're really busy being prejudiced against New Agers. I don't know what's going on, but I do think it's interesting because there are a few things I can cover about the Bible really quick that you might find interesting. All right.
Yeah, go for it.
So it does say at one point, I'm going to try and find the exact passage here. It does mention that Earth is going to be removed from its place in the Bible. So it does say that Earth will be like pulled up out of its place. So I think we saw that with moving away from the Sagittarius arm, which is interesting. So that was called in the Bible, and that's not a change. And it does also mention in the Bible that all things will be changed. So
this is something always been interesting that I see a lot of people make this comment. I even see my brother change. Like Truth Hurts just wrote, I was Mandela affected before I came to religion. And I remember my brother was atheist, and then when he was affected by the Mandela, he kind of converted over. And I noticed that with a lot of chats and a lot of people.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in a sense. Hold on. They should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not had the God seal. And it talks about just how, the sky is going to roll up like a scroll. The third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So a third part of them was darkened. And the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. So they've got like a lot of premonitions about what's going to happen with the stars falling from heaven, and a third part of the trees disappearing, and thundering and lightning. And we have a ball lightning now, which is kind of weird. Yeah. But it does say that all things will be changed, and there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. And then one part of the Bible here says that the older things will not be remembered, and every single thing will be made new. So But
it's hard. It's hard listening to her and seeing that cow with the big ass fucking horn.
I see horns. That's actually crazy.
How is that thing even real? I don't like what the.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's huge.
Well, remember everything. Okay. In her defense, everything has horns now. Now remember, sheep have horns. Bulls have bigger horns. A lot of species that didn't have horns. In fact, we as humans have the horned hippocampus in our brain now. Remember, we have the horned hippocampus.
That's so weird. Check it out. Moses has horns.
Yeah, Moses has horns. Yeshua has horns. They have pictures of him radiating horns. Pretty much. Alexander the Great has horns. And in antiquity, Alexander the Great has silver coins in his name. In Egypt, it has horns on them. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh.
Everything has horns now.
We're just getting horny. Come, Jesus, come.
Yeah.
Come, Lord Jesus. We're getting horny down here. We need you.
Horny. It's the new campus. Yeah, the new Olympic system. People are horny.
Okay.
Right there.
You guys got to check this out. Okay, I was cooking eggs the other day, and I found this map dumpster diving because it's a good way to find residue. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I found this map at this French immersion school, and I noticed it shifted, and I'm looking up at it, and I go, no way. So tell me what you guys see.
I want to see. Okay. I have to get real close because my eyes are bad. Real blue eyes. Oh shit. South America it's a little bit over.
It's a bit over to the right, where you could be more in the middle with California. Now it's like more towards the East Coast.
You guys don't notice the big-titted lady?
Oh yeah, right there in the water.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what God is doing.
Pervert now.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. God has a sense of humor. That's titties. That's a big ass titty woman. It's like when God, was it Michelangelo who did that fresco in that whatever, and he's showing his ass. He's showing his ass as a joke.
That's a Mandela effect for me now. Yeah,
it's a Mandela effect for me too. He's showing his ass as a big old laugh, and then now he's showing titties.
Yeah.
Shit.
You know what?
Oh my God!
I might have to take a break and play this intro just so I can breathe.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch, and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
Okay, I'm calmed down now. I got that out of my system. I'll be right back.
You're having a dance, man. Don't walk away without playing that song. You're going. So no, I see the titties. That's hilarious. Oh, no offense to. There's no offense. You tell a woman titties are titties. They're not going to be offended. You own them. So that's hilarious. No one has said that.
I think it's great too because you can't tell too much here. But I didn't write a line, but where like the front leg is, there's like a white line with the clouds that's like making the bottom leg, and then the leg that's coming out in the back. So it looks like she's doing like a seductive pose.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That is humor. I see religion as going humor. I see the Bible. It's changing. It's humor.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many things in there. God's got a sense of humor. And how's he going to wake people up? Now, we're only half Christian on my mom's side, but my grandfather was a minister. He had his own parish. That's how I know about the Bible, because he used to talk about the Bible all the time. And our granny gave us her own books. So we had our own Bibles. She used to make us read them. We'd go there for the holidays and visit Grandpa and Grandma. And then Granny was like, read your books. Read what book, Grandma? Granny?
Bible.
Thank you, JoJo. Thank you for loving that intro.
She go to this, go to Job, go to the. I don't know, Granny. They all look the fucking same to me. You flip the fucking pages, but you still read them, and because Grandpa's going to talk about something in church, you got to know a little bit about it. But Grandpa always talked about the Old Testament stuff, so we always like
arms, right? That is arms on that little creature in the front.
Those
those boobies.
Yeah, no, they're arms. It's a sloth.
Okay.
Sloth.
And no, you know what? I completely agree with what you're saying. And I think if you want to understand life, you need to look into the Bible and to the name of the Bible. And in order to do that, you need the whole lie spirit.
Yes.
To know how to live in life.
Yeah, because it's changed now. Like
no, because we're on a planet and it's a whole lie. It's the whole lie Bible.
It is a lie. Well,
yeah,
we got a firmament now. We got a firmament going on now. I know that.
No, most people don't think that's a Mandela effect, but it is. So that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a Mandela effect for me because I knew a fucking globe. I worked at an aerospace museum. I wanted to be an astronaut. So now I look up as a firmament. I see the no, man. I got the evidence. No, it's not. Fucking no. There's no stars. It's those are not stars. Those are just clusters of things telling you about life. Like I talk about with Brian. I talked about the fire on the Statue of Liberty. It's in the shape of a teacup, and if you go to it's in the shape of a teapot. It's in the shape of a teapot. If you go to the astrological sign and look over Sagittarius, it says teapot. Like, oh, a teapot. And then you go to the Statue of Liberty. You look at the Statue of Liberty. The flame is the same thing. I go, oh, it's the teapot. The teapot. It's Sagittarius. It's saying Sagittarius. I mean, were we ever on Sagittarius? I don't know now. I don't know. This is all astrological. Now, it's like God telling you, hey, everything was kind of like a big-ass game for you guys. But now, here's the reality of it. Look up at the heavens, and you'll see astrological signs.
Yeah.
So now I literally go to look at the astrological signs. Oh, that's what that means. Cool.
It's been light out all night here. There's no stars. This morning the sky was bright pink. It's before the sun even came up. It was so weird.
You're in California, right?
No, that's my name.
Oh.
That's just her name of her channel. Where are you from again?
Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
I know I've heard that fucking name.
It's above North Dakota.
Okay, yeah. Oh God, yeah. Aren't you speaking? You're supposed to sound like a Canadian.
Oh, I don't know, you guys. Check out these pigs. They're laying with the tiger here, so I think we're pretty close to the lion and the lamb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric, we went through there. Didn't we go through
I
there?
love it.
Oh no.
Hey, when do you do your shows?
Usually when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you go on like sometimes I notice you do an after show after Brian's show, and sometimes I try to jump on those.
Yeah, I mean you're always welcome to come hang out on the chat if you want, or no, I mean in the video. Okay, you guys, check this out.
Yeah.
So the lion laying with the lamb.
Yes.
If the world's a lie and the Mandela effect is revealing that, then it would make sense that the lion would shift to the wolf, because the wolf represents deception, talking about symbology.
Yeah.
So now the deception's being revealed. And we have pigs laying with tigers. Look at this.
Yes.
Pigs and tigers. Pigs and tigers.
I have witnessed this. Where I live in a flat in England, there is a dog. I always take the dog for a walk. There's a cat that this dog is in love with, and that cat lays with this dog. They lay together. They were told me they were raised together as kittens and puppy. They are together. They're like girlfriend, boyfriend, a cat and the dog. I'm like, no fucking way. I've never seen a dog lay with a cat. They're together. No, I can't stress this. She purrs. He gets all alerted. She lays all next to him. He lays back down like this. She curls on the back of his head. She purrs in his ear. He gets used to it. He's a little terrier, like a little small terrier, same size. In fact, the cat's a little bit bigger, maybe. I don't know. But they're like together. And they were told, no, they're a team. I said, nah, it's a dog and a cat. They said they're together. I was like, oh my God. I ain't never seen shit like that, man. It's not like, no, I'm from the fucking California Central Valley where pit bulls eat everything. There's no dog.
Okay, get this. I had a 3-pound cat that was chasing this pit bull around, and it was cowering in the corner when the Mandela effect started. I had like this 3-pound cat like antagonizing this pit bull.
Wow.
And it would just get terrified and it would go hide its head in the corner. Like the animals are acting insane.
Yes, and they smile. Dogs smile. They've got let's just do science. They've got the new muscles in their face to allow them to smile. So
it's creepy.
It's creepy as fuck. Because I'll have the dog sitting there who wants to go pee. I have to take him out for pee. He'll do bark, 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 and he'll smile. And little tail wags. I said, don't smile at me, man. That freaks me the fuck out. He smiles. And cats themselves will look up. Now, cats don't smile as much as dogs, but their eyes have more of a you can see the character face in their eyes. Their faces are different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can see you thinking. You can almost read their face, what they're thinking about. Same with the dogs, because of the face muscles. There's no ESP magic going on. You read the face. I'm like, I don't magic. No, you could see the face muscles. You could go.
Have they winked at you yet, though? That's the thing. Have they winked at you yet?
One of the people in the flat say, "Oh, he's winking at me." She'll stare at the dog. He winks.
JoJo
like
wrote,
make a funny face and wink.
JoJo wrote, one amazing thing about the world now is Mandela and all the wonderful colors in the skies and the animals and flowers.
The flowers.
Look at this dog.
Animals. Look at that dog.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
I bet he's allergic or hyalogenic.
God, looks like a bear.
Wow.
Holy shit.
A lot of things turn into bears.
Is he on top of something? The one in the black looks like his leg is on top of another dog or something. Look,
bear shit's on the moon.
There's something brown underneath him. It looks like look at his teeth is out like. He looks like the wolf dog in American Werewolf in London.
I just watched that. That's weird.
Remember that wolf? That wasn't a wolf. That's like a big fluffy wolf. That looks like that wolf.
It's an American Werewolf in London.
No, that's American Werewolf, whatever, North Dakota.
I bet you it's one of those dogs that are you don't get allergies from it. Allergenic.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's an allergenic dog.
You're gonna need a fucking EpiPen to hang out around this dog.
Really?
I've never seen this before. Why haven't I never seen this before?
The owner has an EpiPen hanging around his neck.
That dog looks like Bob. Remember our old dog Lughead? But a smaller version of that dog. Lughead had like big fur.
Big fur. But
not like as big as that, but reminds me of Lughead.
That's weird, man. Look at the size of that freaking dog.
It's like Lughead. That's where that dog.
A bear. That was like a bear.
So the way I found this residue is a news notification popped up on my phone, and it said family accidentally bought bear instead of dog.
Yeah.
And they ended up with like a full-size bear in their backyard. Not these ones. These are actual dogs. But that was their excuse when they had to come pick up this like 600-pound bear from their backyard. They're like, well, we thought it was a mastiff.
Get out. I have a bear. I have a bear.
You are a bear.
I have a teddy bear. That's for that back.
On Brian's show, everybody kept calling him ZZ Top. Everybody.
J Maskin.
Yeah, I look like somebody walked out of the forest. I look like the Unabomber.
Dinosaur Jr.
I walk around. I'm in England as an American walking into bars, and everyone just looks at me like, "What the fuck is this guy?" I wear my coonskin hat too.
Is that an overlarge guinea pig?
Yeah, it's a capybara.
What would they taste like?
They taste like guinea pig.
Guinea pig is good in South America.
Yeah, they breed them. They're easy to breed, and they give good food.
There's the best meat to eat, I think, is like capybaras or guinea pigs because they breed like crazy, and they're
they do.
Yeah, and the Andes, the Andes, they're up there. Yeah, they breed them for food. Yeah, they're really nutritious, and their feces provide fire for their little fireplace.
Ooh.
So they're it's a perfect ecosystem.
Yeah, you can cook them on their own poop.
Yes, you can. You can cook them on their own poop. That's what they do. I mean, let's just fucking call brass tacks where it's at. They cook them on their own shit. That's kind of weird. If you think about that. There we go. Big old rabbit. Ooh, the lupus.
Heavy-teen dog. Wombats are cool.
It's okay. Okay, look at this, guys. Hold on. The rabbit is bigger than this dog.
You see, Night of the Lupus, man. Remember that movie with William Shatner? That's the rabbit.
Bob Elwood said I kept hearing sharp-dressed man playing.
Oh yeah, okay. There's a Mandela effect with the with ZZ Top. You guys talk about in the sidebar. There's a Mandela effect with the ZZ Top. They spin their cigars. They spin their guitars. It's a Mandela effect. They spin their guitars. So see who remembers it in the sidebar. Which direction?
What do you mean? I always remember them spinning it. Is there people said they never spent it?
No, they spin their guitars, but there's a direction they spin them. Is there an opposite direction or a direct? Okay. What direction they spin their guitars? Everyone knows that ZZ Top spins their guitars. That's a fucking deer. I'm gonna eat that.
Make me some sausage.
Oh, you kidding me? Oh, I love venison.
He's eating a bird right now.
Oh yeah, they eat. Yeah, they've become omnivores now, right?
Yeah.
Chickens have become
Ace
omnivores.
McCloud posted this. Ace McCloud did. Here's a squirrel eating a mouse. Yeah,
they're eating proteins because their brains got bigger. People don't know that. When they become omnivores because of the fats, synapses. So people don't know that your brain needs oils for synapses.
So Bob, JoJo said they spin it to the left.
Do they now? Do they spin it to the left? They do that now, or have they always done that?
Now they spin them to the right.
Okay, that's one person. Keep going, guys. That might not be the answer.
Somebody's claiming venison is rabbit. No.
Venison is deer.
Yeah.
No, it's deer. That's deer. That's delicious.
Well, venison is wild. It's supposed to represent wild meat.
Oh dear.
Delicious.
Look at these wild cats just hanging out with this bear. Like all these animal duos are so weird.
Because they can think now. I know people think I'm crazy when I say that a lot of vegetarian animals become omnivores because they need the oils, the natural fats are helping with the synapses in the brain. The brains got bigger. Their little lizard brains got bigger. So they are more like human now. Sound.
God just updated their processing power.
God updated them. God updated them. Now, a lot of people are trying to turn all the males into soy boys.
Soy tits. Put them in my face.
Don't put. Yeah, all the there's a heavy campaign to turn all males into soy boys. Now, I'm not against vegetarians because they eat eggs. They eat fish, which is good. Eggs.
Vegetarians don't eat fish or eggs. Vegans don't eat eggs. Vegetarians don't eat fish. That's pescatarian.
You know what's funny about vegans? They I'm not making fun of vegans. Don't get me wrong. But they say they don't eat no meats, no nothing, but they eat a lot of eggs. Now,
no, that's vegetarian.
Okay, vegetarian. Vegetarians don't eat meat. But I'll tell you something about vegetarians. These chickens eat bugs. When you buy eggs, it says vegetarian eggs. No, they're not vegetarian eggs because chickens eat bugs, and bugs are meat. They're considered meat.
Yes.
Yeah. My chickens love to eat bugs. It was great.
Yes. So vegetarian eggs are fake. I did videos on eggs, just so everybody knows. I actually did videos on eggs.
Chocolate covered ants.
This is a turkey, guys. This is a turkey.
That is not a turkey I've ever seen.
It's a turkey.
So with a male turkey, that means those colors are for mating. And if those colors are for mating, that means that animals, birds' eyes must change. They must have changed. They can see certain colors. They can see different colors now.
Oh, that's a good observation.
See, the Nachiketa, Mike said, I don't eat eggs nor meat. So if you don't eat meat, then yeah.
Oh,
don't
shit,
eat eggs.
sorry, dude. Did not mean to make fun of Mike. As he's an exception to the rule.
Huge rescue story about those 3. Huh. Eat. Eggs have blood in them, so no vegan. Yeah, see?
I'm a meatitarian, people. I'm so sorry. I could eat meat with nothing. I feel bad for saying that.
And
but
people, cage-free eggs are not cage-free. Just so you know that. Cage-free eggs are not free. What that means is the fucking barns put a little door for chickens to go outside. Only 3% of chickens actually know that it's a door. It's a false to sell you, to charge you more money. Just giving you that information.
That looks like a damn flying chicken wing.
This is one of those new 20-pound bats.
Yeah, the bat, the fox, the bat fox bat.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That's freaky as fuck.
That is freaky.
I really like the vampire deers. Look at his little teeth.
Yes. That's to bring down its prey. That's a sign that sucker probably eats meat too. Those are we talked about canines. I talked about humans have large canines now. People have canines now. And so why would not the animal kingdom have canines? That makes sense to me. There are a lot of vegetarian animals are starting to become they eat meat. So they
look
have
at his teeth.
Yeah.
Those are not practical for eating meat. I'm sorry. Those are just completely decorative.
Are those teeth? Are those
yeah.
teeth?
No, they are. They're like the saber-tooth tiger. Those are practical. Our anthropology, archaeology. What they're for is they have small. If you look at that animal's legs, and it's probably small on the back, so they raise up and they put in another animal and bring it down with it. They use it to clamp another animal to bring it down, or they bring a tree down or a branch down. They use them as hooks to bring something down with. That's why they're used like a saber-toothed tiger.
A deer head chihuahua? A chihuahua looks like a deer?
Look at that little guy. Oh,
it looks like Jenna Marble's dog.
It's the little. Is it a deer? Oh,
yeah. This chihuahua's called. They're called deer head chihuahuas because their face is like a shape as a deer.
It's a buffalo. Bison.
This dog is old. My dog is 15 years old.
That's a new world monkey. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's a new world. I don't know. Is that African? I don't know. Yeah, bring down animals.
Okay, look at this thing. It has like fiber optics coming out of it, basically.
So it's an insect?
Yeah.
It looks like there's no head. It's like a head got chopped off, like one of those characters from South Park.
Its head is on the right side, I think.
Yeah, so it's camouflage. So what it does is it hides itself backwards. It looks like grass, or it hides in the marsh or whatever it's at. It can hide itself.
I think they live in trees. I'm not sure though.
Probably while it eats.
New hybrid.
God, there's a lot of hybrids. A lot of hybrids in this reality. That's really crazy. A lot of hybrids.
I love this, man. We went from a hard, tense talk about 9/11, never been animals. We needed this.
Those are for sensors. That's for electricity.
These are the new fuzzy moths. They're so cute.
Yeah, because you know why? We have electricity in the ether. You're a flat earther, so you know about the electricity in the ether, the free electricity. That's for the ether.
Ooh.
That's for the ether.
Look how cute they are.
Oh, yeah. They have new hairs and new antennas for ether, for the electricity in the air. Nice.
Here's a shoe bill.
Oh, where are you from?
I'm learning so much shit today. This is unbelievable. I'm serious, man.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not a vegan, and Indian locals treat cows with they treat with respect. Yeah, I know all about that one. And they don't consume chemicals. They treat cows with respect because the cow is not valuable.
That's funny, Mike.
Their poop is more valuable than the cow is. So India was smart. Instead of eating their cows, they use their poop. Their poop is for fire, for agriculture, for everything. They can even make an explosive if they want to with poop. Cows
Mike,
what?
Look, Mike, I have ghee butter too. I know everything about ghee.
I know ghee is just a lot cheaper to make yourself.
Yeah, you can make it yourself, but it's easier just to buy it.
What is ghee?
Okay, Mr. I'm made of money. It's like what you use to put marijuana in your coffee.
What?
Yeah.
It's the most purified butter that you could get. So a lot of cooks use ghee. So like, you know how say you're making eggs and you use regular butter? Butter will burn faster, but ghee won't burn heavy. So you cook your pan. What's that?
I've never heard of ghee.
Ghee is made from what? And then milk.
It's just butter with the fat scraped off. It's like butter with the milk fat scraped off the top. Yeah.
You scrape the top off, and it's clean butter. It's very, very clean. A lot of cooks use ghee.
What happened to butter?
No, butter's still there. Butter just has think of butter is fat. Ghee is
why
fat.
Why are they reinventing the wheel when butter is just fine?
Ghee's all fat. You just take the milk fat off.
Yeah,
the top.
you're right. You just scrape it.
Yeah,
it's very healthy for you.
But I like unhealthy butter.
Me too.
Ghee is healthy for you. Yes,
ghee actually tastes better because all the stuff that makes it gritty comes out of the top. So
I mean, Bob, I'm going to send you a package with that honey. I'll send you a jar of ghee.
Of ghee?
Trust me, ghee. Yeah, I'll send you a jar. So when you cook food that you will use butter, use ghee. It won't burn. It'll taste better. And like I said, because if you cook butter too long, you get that burnt butter taste on food.
Yeah, okay. What did I bring home with me? What jar did I bring home with me?
You brought a jar of pure raw honey.
Well, and what else? It's bison. Bison.
Oh, that raw.
Bison fat.
Bison. Yeah. We went to we went to the organic store. That's right. At Whole Foods.
Buffalo fat. So you're gonna send me ghee. Now I'm eating with buffalo fat, and you're gonna send me ghee.
Well, do what I do with it. I use it for cooking.
Okay, I use buffalo fat for cooking too.
You know what's great from Whole Foods if you can get it is duck fat.
Duck fat is awesome.
Yeah. You had it.
I buy duck fat, goose fat. I have duck fat, goose fat. I have fat from all kinds of animals.
Buddhism also believes in inaccurate
animal fat
as well.
People don't know it. It's great for synapses. There's not much fat in rabbits, though.
All right, guys, this is not what it looks like.
The penis fish. I see that everywhere. The penis fish.
It's a snake, and here is its eggs. Look at the egg. See, there's an enlarged version. Okay, wait. So here's his mouth open. Look. Here.
I'm just waiting for it to be used in a porn. There's gonna be some porn somewhere with that.
I know. Me too. Okay, check this.
Waiting for it. Tremors, of course. Tremors is with that.
Right, but it's the Tremors thing. Look, because
I love Tremors.
But look, there it is, right here.
It is it. You know, a lot of things.
I love only the first Tremors. All the sequels suck.
Yeah, me too. This is the first Tremors. Yeah, it looks like the thing from Tremors. It's hilarious. A lot of things in the timeline looks like fantasy. It looks like things from storybooks. Like,
stupid.
No, I mean, people have argued that, and I said, yeah, a lot of things in this timeline look from storybooks. God's got a great sense of humor. I mean, dragons, unicorns, lots of things from movies. Things are coming into existence, basically through like fables and stories. It's hilarious. Even the Bible has changed.
It is funny. It's really funny.
Castles and you know, women of waiting and 1,000 virgins and thousands of things in the Bible. It's great.
Unicorns.
I love it.
Lots of unicorns.
Unicorns. Look at that.
Jesus wearing a golden girdle up to his women's nipples.
No, let me
It
say.
says that.
No, let me tell people about that. That's not that's good. No, I've been debating that. Look, your stomach where your belly button was is no longer there. It's under the rib cage. So what you have right here under your belly button is your large intestines. You get a cut there or a stab there, you're fucked. You're gonna have all that toxins in your body. So if you were to go to combat and with your shirt off or whatever, you would wear a girdle to protect the waist area. Unlike back home, you would not have to. Well, you would do that back home too, but you wear a leather girdle. Now, if you wore a golden girdle, you just look badass. You're just in charge. That's all. But you wear a leather girdle around your waist. It makes sense for battle. Your ribs are protected. You don't need nothing. You're protected. Your heart is protected. You just need a girdle. A man wearing a girdle is safe in combat.
Well, guys, we actually hit over 3 hours. Usually we only do 2 hours. We actually hit 3 hours because today, I got to say, today was one of those.
I wanted to hear about the girdle. Well, wait, look at there's bugs in the snow now.
I'll let Bob finish, and today's like one of the best shows I think we ever had. So you got more to say on that girdle, Bob, before I have to go?
In combat. If you're wearing anything else other than leather, if you're wearing anything else, a fabric gets into your skin inside your body, you get an infection, you'll die. You'll die in combat. You'll die with any other materials inside your body. Wearing a girdle that protects your large intestines is the only vulnerable area underneath your brand new rib cage that's susceptible to cutting in combat. You wear a girdle. It's a war. If I went into combat right now, they said pick one thing, pick armor. Fuck your armor. Give me that leather girdle. I'll protect my large intestines. I have all of this free to fight with because I have a rib cage that supports here. I might have some leather here, but you're protected. So that's what the girdle is, to protect your large intestines only, because your stomach used to be there. It's not there no more. So it's vulnerable.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So we're going to have I am going to do another show Thursday at 11 Pacific time. So California, Cal, you want to jump on, you're more than always welcome, because I think you gave us a nice little change of pace. That was awesome. What was needed. So, do you want to promote anything, Callie? You want to promote anything?
I was just gonna say, if you guys, I posted it. I'm not sure if the links work because I'm not a moderator, but if you want to come to my channel, I posted the link. Someone's gonna have to repost it so it's clickable.
After the show, I'll get your link and I'll put it in my description so people can go from there too.
Cool.
Awesome.
And I'll do that for Nachiketa too, his website. I usually do that when people come on. And Bob, are you doing the show this weekend for anybody?
Yeah, I'll be doing like get off drugs shows.
Friday or Saturday. Do you have a set day yet for that, or are you just gonna wing it?
I'm doing one possibly tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah, and then Saturday, because I'm gonna be doing your show the rest of the week.
Well, everybody,
mine you take it with a grain of salt. Mine you like Mike knows now. Mike will explain to you. Just shut the fuck up and go with it. He's got something meaning somewhere.
I'll end this with our intro, and thank you everybody for jumping on today. Nikita, Mike, you're awesome. California, you're awesome. Everybody's awesome. So I'll see everybody later.
Just one touch and I'm lost inside your love. Just one touch means more than words can say. Just one touch and I know I'm gonna stay for always.
Wow, dude. Are you off?